I am your host, Rockin, Robbie Billups, and I am here to present to you PCP Horrorfest 2020, continuing on through spooky. Anyway, what's up, everybody? I'm Rockin' Robbie Billups, and we're here at Pop Culture Philosophers. It's time for a PCP movie night. That's right, a live movie discussion. And since it is the second week of PCP Horrorfest, we decided to throw the choice out to you in the audience. Y'all came up with some suggestions. We gathered a few, put them together in a poll, and the very first PCP Army movie poll winner is Cabin in the Woods, and that's what we're talking about tonight. Speaking of cabins in the woods, he lives in one. It's Jelani. What's up, my man?
I'm doing well, man. I'm super spooky and super pumped.
Super spooky, super pumped. We also have Hammer Time Whole Shoe with us.
I've been to Jelani's house. He does live in a cabin in the woods, on Camp Crystal Lake, in fact.
Yeah.
And, but it's the fishing out there, amazing. You just gotta watch out for that guy in the lake with the mask. Otherwise,
you gotta watch out for the corpse in the lake.
You gotta poke him with a stick, man. That's how you get away.
Just push him back in. Continue.
Yeah.
Speaking of corpses and lakes, we got Jay Strick in the house. What's up, man?
Guys, I think we should stop the stream. I think we should split up.
Really?
Why?
All right, push him.
We also got that son of a bitch himself, Dylan, is in the house. What's up, my man?
What's up, brother? How we doing tonight?
Oh, man, we are doing good. We're doing live. The Lakers are winning. Everything seems fine. We're talking about Horrorfest. And, yeah, y'all, we were late tonight because of this guy. It's Brooks. So blame Brooks. Hashtag blame Brooks.
I like it.
That's the next shirt to work on, John. And so we're doing a weird stretch. Prove it. Blame Brooks. What's up, Brooks? Thank you for showing up.
Yeah, you feel honored that I even showed up, man.
Oh, we are so honored. You're like the merman in the film when it finally shows up, and it's just like, oh, it's all been worth it. I am the merman. So that's right, everybody. Tonight we're talking about The Cabin in the Woods. Came out. It was made in like 2011, but it actually released in 2012. It's directed by Drew Goddard. It's written by Drew Goddard and Joss Whedon. They worked together on Buffy and Angel, and has a great cast of characters. It's got some great monsters. It's a great tribute to horror films. It's a great deconstruction of horror films, and it's a great deconstruction of itself. And I really like this movie a lot. It's funny. It's scary. It's got great effects. It's got great, brilliant acting. It's got amazing writing, great cinematography. It's got a gut punch of an ending that is unexpected. And don't worry, if you've never seen it, we are spoiling it tonight. Full on. But this movie's great. I freaking love it. Rewatching it this week, I hadn't seen it since I first saw it, and that's a shame. This needs to be like at least a once every couple of years kind of thing. Like, you got to watch Cabin in the Woods. I love this film. I think it's great. I want to know what your overall thoughts. You can hit this little button right there. It's called mute, Jelani. It's really weird.
Never had enough time to do it.
Speaking of mutation, Jelani, what are your overall thoughts of Cabin in the Woods?
I adore this film. It's great, man. This movie is everything I didn't think it would be. It was kind of like I treat every experience like Cabin in the Woods, like my first time watching The Matrix. You go in and you're expecting one thing or not knowing what to expect, and then getting something completely different that blows your mind. That's what Matrix did to me, and that's what this film does to me. The cast is fantastic. It pulls from so many different horror tropes and so many different horror styles and all these different monsters. It's a collection of just gorgeous on the screen. The ending is brilliant. I think this film is one of the greats. Like, it could possibly be one of the greatest horror films I've ever seen. And I really love this film, and I love watching it. I mean, this is probably the fifth or sixth time I've seen it in my lifetime, because I watched it twice in a theater, and I know that for a fact. It's just one of those films where I was just like, I got to see this again.
Prove it.
So, prove it.
Anyway, no, man, that's some high praise for this film, Jelani.
Yeah, I'm about it.
And I love it. I love how it homages all these different horror films. You know, it starts off and it seems like, oh, this is just going to be a cliche movie about kids going into a cabin and getting killed off by some people, right? But it winds up going so far beyond that while paying tribute to everything that came before and doing something completely new. Speaking of tributing everything that came before and doing something completely new with it, that's Hammer Time Holshoe in a nutshell, or should I say a conch. Anyway, Hammer Time Holshoe, what are your overall thoughts on this movie? And I know that you love this film because you were like, I got to do Cabin in the Woods.
I do love this film, and it's got a special place because I went and saw it on my birthday, right? It was the same day I bought the Mustang. So I bought the Mustang on my birthday, and my brother stopped by. He's like, it's your birthday. What do you want to do? He's like, let's get some pizza. Maybe go see a movie. I'm like, yeah, I want to see this movie, Cabin in the Woods. He never heard of it. I knew it was kind of a twist. You know what I'm saying? I knew it got delayed. I knew basically the concept. Not quite, you couldn't comprehend it if you've seen it. If you haven't seen it yet, you know what I'm saying? It was kind of there's a lot to it. He thought it was going to be almost like Friday the 13th. You know what I'm saying? A traditional horror film. So it blew his mind. I just remember being so excited. Watching him was just as exciting because he just it was a mind fuck for him. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't expect it to go in that direction. Yeah. And it was, you're right. There's kind of an homage or a tribute, and they reference all these characters. You can tell which characters are inspired. They're inspired by all these tropes and these horror icons. And man, I love the film. It was tons of fun. It's funny. It's got a great cast. The effects are great. I mean, it's just a cool concept. I love this film. It's great. It's a great Halloween film. But again, it takes so much from before it and takes it in a new direction. And it really has a great cast, man. Freaking Thor is in it. Really.
Yeah, I like the way that you were talking about going to see it with your brother and how much fun you had seeing his reaction. That's one of my favorite things with horror films sometimes is getting someone's first reaction to a movie. And, while you're watching it now, obviously we're not watching a lot of these movies together right now, but we're able to share this. And for instance, here on the panel, there is one person who has never seen this movie, and we'll get to him, but somebody who hasn't seen the majority of our Horrorfest films, but this is one that he has seen. Jay Strick, what'd you think about the movie on the rewatch?
Yeah, I actually saw it not too long ago. When the shutdown happened in March, I was flipping through the Amazon Prime, and I saw the trailer for Cabin in the Woods. If you watch the trailer, it doesn't really give too much away. It just seems like a cliche horror movie. And so when I flipped the movie on, the first 5 minutes is just them talking about their day and their job. I was like, am I watching the right movie? And I read that was supposed to be the point. They wanted you to feel that way. But I freaking love this movie, man. It is classic. There's a lot you can take away from it, and I like that. I like the interpretations, the cliches, all the above, man. The cast is great. The movie's great. And you're right. It's a movie you need to put in your rotation to watch,
Oh, yeah. It's become a classic of the genre for real. And it goes beyond just because it's a meta horror film, and there's been meta horror films before, most notably Scream, the Scream franchise. Yep. But this does it in a different way. And it does it in a really cool, sleek, sophisticated, and fresh and new way. Even though this movie is built on all these common horror tropes, including the idea of, 5 semi-horny teenagers in a cabin getting picked off one by one, right? It does it in such a way that just is utter brilliance. Speaking of semi-horny teenagers in cabins in the woods getting slaughtered, Dylan, what do you think about this movie overall?
I love it, man. It's phenomenal. I can't wait to talk about the cinematography, though, because there's some cool stuff to point out. But I remember because my mom loves Chris Hemsworth, so anything like Chris Hemsworth, Jake Gyllenhaal, she buys. And I remember she bought this, and I threw it in. I don't even think I had seen the trailer. I just threw it in because I'm like, yo, Chris Hemsworth, Thor. I was like, I'm gonna check it out, knowing it's a horror movie. And like Strick said, the way it starts, you're like, am I watching the right movie? It knows how to be comedic, but then take it to the top notch and go be real horrific. And I feel like this is one of the only horror movies that does the, you know, like damn, I can't think, the special effects, like where they're kind of mixing like the 80s goodness with some CGI, so they're not going just full CGI, because I know they did use like animatronics and they used real, you know, makeup and stuff, and practical effects, and they just, you know, maybe touch things up with CGI, which I've always said, you know, go like 90% practical and then use that 10% to touch up, you know, maybe certain things that you can't do, you know, and nobody does it, you know, but I think that's why this one works so well, because they didn't go full CGI. They at least, you know, went that practical route. But obviously there are a lot of things that are full on CGI, but, you know, what can you do about that? But
the giant snake, you know, it's unavoidable. It's unavoidable, right? But like, even with the werewolf, it's a dude in a werewolf suit, but like he's wearing a green pants, and they like CG'd all that stuff in. The blending of practical and CG elements is brilliant, and that's something Guillermo del Toro does exceptionally well. In particular in Pan's Labyrinth, Hellboy 2, and it's just absolutely beautiful. Speaking of absolutely beautiful, we may blame Brooks occasionally, but we mostly blame him for being so goddamn beautiful. Brooks, this was your first time watching this film. We want to know what you thought about it.
I don't get it. Why is it called Cabin in the Woods? I'm kidding, of course. I like this movie a lot, and I was looking forward to it because I'd heard about it, and I'd heard about the concept, and I thought it was very interesting. So, this movie is just so hilarious. Like, I laughed so many times, and it's the way they combine the horror and the comedy is like perfect, because it's like, you know, these dudes in the background, like they're setting everything up, like they're so funny and ridiculous, but when you think about what they're actually doing, it's like actually pretty horrifying.
Yeah.
But they're just so goofy about it. Like, you just can't help but laugh at them. Like, especially dude in his merman fixation.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah, that's right. Bradley Whitford.
You know, Drew Goddard said that he grew up in like Los Alamos or something, so he was around a community of scientists that were working on deadly weapons with mass destruction, and he saw that this is how they went about their day, even though the weight of what they did for their job was so significant. They just were like regular people sitting around the water cooler talking about stuff, and that was very important to him to put into the film. So I'm glad you liked it, Brooks.
Me too.
Yeah. Let's take a look at the chat real quick. First person here was 1-2 Comic Talk. What's up, Kevin, my man? How are you doing? Sam Fett in the house. Fable in the house as well. We got Mike06. That's Mike the Voice Matthews in here. We got Taki616. That's right. He's from an alternate reality, but that's just the way it works. We got Bueller in here saying what's up to Dylan. Hey, Dylan.
Hi, Dylan.
Hi, Dylan.
We got Patrick, says phenomenal film with a great concert. Seth Whedon at his best, and Drew Goddard. Heck yeah, there's Dylan saying hi to Bueller. So Dylan's in the chat as well. We got Brett Hess. Art, what is up, dude? We got Chaos in Comics. How you doing, sir? Brett says the Japanese schoolgirls taking down their demon was awesome. That's one of my favorite moments.
Yeah.
It is.
It was Happy Frog.
Yeah. Fuck you. Fuck you. We got Jelani making it in the chat as well. And Brett says, Brooks, the beautiful.
Mm.
And cheers to Jelani. Yeah, there you go. And cheers to you out there. Feel free to join in with us as we talk about this stuff. I want to talk about the cast. It's got a great cast. This movie wouldn't have worked unless it was brilliantly performed. And it is. And you got these characters that eventually wind up being these archetypes, right? What do they call them? The athlete, the whore, the virgin, the
nerd,
and the scholar.
Yeah, the scholar. That's what it was.
And what's crazy is that they all are actually not these people. Like, what's her name? Is that Anne Hutchinson, right? She is not a ditzy blonde.
Right.
She's not a ditzy blonde. It's just so they're manipulating things to be this way. Chris Hemsworth's character is actually incredibly smart at the beginning.
Yeah.
And it becomes more and more dumb and broy as the movie goes. The performances are great. Now, the one that I really want to spotlight, because I'm going to leave the two dudes underground for one of y'all, because I know that you guys want to talk about that. But who plays Marty? That is
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, he did such a good job.
Franz. Yeah.
Fran Kranz.
He was in Dollhouse.
Yeah.
Right?
He's in
Marty's
Dollhouse.
the best, hands down.
Yeah. He's the best character in this movie.
He's the one that figures it out.
Yeah.
He's never on. Like when people always talk about me or something, they're like, "Oh man, the people that just smoke weed and like think about conspiracies and paranoia and don't trust things." Like, dude, it worked for this motherfucker.
He
in
was
this movie.
he was right.
He was
found
the best
cameras.
I also love that it's the weed that he's smoking that helps him like not fall
It
prey.
energizes him.
Did you pick up on though? They said that they messed with his weed, and they were like, what screwed it up was they were like, no, we found out he had 2 different batches, and he must have been smoking the other batch. So that's why, like, because he was smoking.
He probably smoked through both.
Yeah.
He smoked all their shit on the drive with his coffee mug bong, which I think
Man, when I saw that, I was like, oh man, I want that.
The bong / weapon.
Yeah.
/ coffee cup.
Oh, it's great.
It's amazing.
Yeah, we're not gonna take this giant ass bong with us.
Marty's a great character. He's definitely the Shaggy of the group.
He's
the fool,
Shaggy.
he's the coward, he's the stoner, but he's also the one who, honestly, he's kind of the final girl in the film, more so than the final girl, I would say. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, Jelani, what's a character you want to spotlight?
I mean, we can do the final girl. We can go to. I think her name was Kristen Comley. She was in House of Cards. She did a season of House of Cards. So I mean, I like her character anyway. Her character and who she is as a person in other things. So I think she's great. I don't like how she almost turned on him, on Marty towards the end, because I was like, oh, you don't have to kill him to save everyone. I mean, you don't have to do that. But it was probably necessary for the world to end, but at the same time, I don't think she should have been a part. But I loved her character. She's just so naive. And she's the one that basically starts all of it. She picks the cursed item.
Oh, yeah.
To read about the family, the redneck zombie family that comes out to start this wave. And I really liked her. I really liked her as a character, and I like how they started with her, and they really should have started with Marty though, but they should start. It's just, but it's a typical horror film. It's typical horror film, and she's like the crux of it to me.
One of the things I really like about those two characters is that Marty gets pegged as the fool, and Dana gets pegged as the virgin. Now she admits that the virgin. I'm not, but it's not that. It's all relative, right? They eventually become those roles. Like that dude's not super scholarly. The one that's the scholar, right? He's more.
Like
of the
has glasses on. It's weird.
Yeah,
exactly. It's because they're starting to play their parts, right? But one interesting thing that I was reading about earlier today was that Dana's actually the fool and Marty is the virgin, and that's what actually kind of messes everything up, because Marty's the smart one. She's the one that picks up and starts reading the Latin. What does he do? He's like, do not read the Latin.
Yeah.
Like, what is wrong with y'all?
Yeah.
Like, no, we don't need to split up, So that's a cool dynamic between those two characters, and I love that it's the two of them at the end. Hammer time. What's a character you want to bring up?
Well, Bradley Whitford's character. You know what I'm saying? I just even in the beginning. So they got this big event going on. It's a world-changing event that they're in charge of. And yet all he does in the beginning is bitch about his wife putting the child safe things. You know what I'm saying? Like mundane shit people talk about at work. He's doing it.
Yeah.
And I just think his character, first off, he's a great actor in pretty much everything he's in. You know what I'm saying? Who doesn't like him? Both of them are both established great actors. I can't remember the other gentleman's name.
Richard Jenkins.
And he's in tons of stuff, but they're both great actors. And they're so great, especially the way they, talk back and forth. Like they just, man, he does such a good job. And the merman thing is so amazing.
Come on, man.
Yeah. But the whole cast is great. I mean, really, getting Sigourney Weaver to show up. She's got a small part, but that's a big role.
Yeah.
You got freaking Thor in it. It's got a great cast. It really has a good balance of famous and not so famous, but they all really good job, play their parts. And you're right. A lot of it is the cast. Whoever is in charge of the casting of the movie, they knocked it out of the park, man.
Yeah, Bradley Whitford is fantastic in everything he's in. Like Get Out, He's in that. He's in not Sports Night, but The West Wing.
Yeah.
Brilliant. You know, and Aaron Sorkin and Joss Whedon kind of have similar styles as far as dialogue goes, and he just lends his talents lend themselves to that, like that snappy, witty kind of banter. And that's Richard Jenkins, who is such a great actor. Remember his role in Burn After Reading? Such a really nuanced performance. He's such an amazing actor. Speaking of amazing actors, we don't have any of them here, but Jay Strick, sure. Go Lakers. What do you think? What's the character you want to pick?
I'll go with Jesse Williams as Holden. I really like that actor in the first place. He's on Grey's Anatomy, and I think it was in 2015 or 14 when Cap took the knee in the NFL. Well, Jesse Williams was actually one of the first actors to kind of boycott with Black Lives Matter too. So I think it's cool that he's in this movie, and I get the sense like he could have been the athlete too, but then he's transforming into like the nerd or the scholar as it's going. But I like him in the role too, because it's just like it really is wholesome. Like even the scene where he could see her topless and he's like, no, stop. You know, like I was like, respect, dude, respect.
So, he thought about it though, hardcore.
He did. He was as we all would have.
I know what some of us on this panel would do, and I'm ashamed of all of us. But what's interesting is I think he is the athlete at first, and he slowly starts because one of the first things you see is when Chris Hemsworth throws the football accidentally out the fucking window, and he catches it, dives and catches it, and then he gets hit by the car, and then like randomly he's now wearing glasses, reading a book. Like It's really weird, man. But it's really cool. I don't feel like he has a lot to do after a certain point in the movie.
He doesn't.
And then he gets got, bruh.
Yeah.
He gets got.
He's not my favorite death.
He's not the one. Yeah,
but
he's not the favorite.
It's one of mine. Dylan, you son of a bitch. What son of a bitch you want to talk about?
I mean, I was thinking the same guy that Hammer Time picked, because the merman stuff is just so hilarious. It'd have to either be Richard Jenkins or Chris? No, you know what, man? I'm gonna go Jules, just because she's so goddamn hot. And who doesn't want a makeout scene with the wolf?
That's so weird.
That was really weird.
So weird.
I love it too. It's like a moose, and he's like, "Look, I'm in like a world of chronic reefer right now." I'm like, "Bro, but I know that's a wolf and a moose."
And a moose.
Well, that's a good pick, though, man. That's good. We got to represent them all, right? What about you, Brooks?
Well, I like the I can't remember who the actress is who plays her, but the lady scientist.
Oh yeah.
Amy Acker, Fred.
Amy Acker.
You talking about Fred from
Angel? Yeah, that's who it was. I was like, I know that actress from somewhere. I just couldn't place it. But yeah, I like her. She's like she kind of seems like the one who's taking the job more seriously than the other two guys. Like, when she's drinking her beer and she's like, they're celebrating, I'm drinking. She seems to kind of like. It seems like she takes it a little more seriously. And like the whole thing with the scientist is kind of like, how Quentin Tarantino will take like assassins or crime guys and stuff and humanize them by just having them like, act like normal people.
Yeah.
That's kind of what the whole scientist feels like to me. It's like these guys that are like, they do this horrible thing and like, but at the same time, like you see them just doing the same things regular people would do it at, regular office. Like, but they're monsters.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a great point, man. What a great cast. We mentioned Chris Hemsworth, but he does do a great job here. Now, as Kirby points out, he goes, it's funny how this was filmed before the very first Thor, yet was pushed back so much it came out the year the first Avengers movie came out, which is true. And my favorite death in the movie is Chris Hemsworth's. Like that moment, the music's building up, and you just, man. And he keeps hitting it as he's going down.
I know, it's so sad.
Like, he's dead the first hit. His body's just dragging it. I'm like,
when I watch that scene, the Foo Fighters' My Hero just plays in my head.
Absolutely. This movie has style out the ass, and it's got a brilliant story structure. I think that this may be probably one of the best third acts in a horror movie, period. The first act is great. It's your typical, cabin in the woods thing. In the second act, it starts getting a bit more complex, and you're like, oh man, there's more going on beneath the surface, literally, right? And then that third act, it just erupts. And they say, Goddard says that all they wrote was one line in the script, that there's chaos on every screen. And they that was the toughest part of filming this. They had 70 or 80 different bits to film with different monsters representing different legends and different folklores and different movies and things like that. And they were just kind of they had people being made up while they were filming other people, and they were moving them in and out and just trying to get all the, even if it's just the most basic shot of their versions of the Cenobites torturing that dude on the staircase.
Yeah.
They had to go and film that and make those people up and get that, and then have the werewolf stuff, and then have the little ghost ballerina girl with the crazy monster face and all that kind of stuff, right? So the style of the movie is great as well. The way it's shot, the cinematography is beautiful. The script, the dialogue is so freaking great. What I love about Joss Whedon's work is the dialogue. That's some of my favorite stuff. He's got a great way of making it seem realistic, yet also intelligent and incredibly funny. It's almost like Kevin Williamson, early Kevin Williamson.
Early.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Seriously, I love the script. I love the look of the film. Jelani, what do you got to speak on either?
Man, it's great. The fact that they use practical effects so much in this film, actually, that impresses me a lot. I mean, there's a lot of CG, and the CG is actually, it looks pretty good. It looks very good too. It's got its moments, it does, but it's believable to me, and that's all you need to do. If you put it on film, I got to look at it and be like, hey, this isn't Windows 95. That's all. That's all you gotta do. And they do a great job of it. I like the way it's shot. It's beautifully paced while it's being shot. I mean, it's everything. This film is, like I said before, it takes me off guard. I didn't expect what I saw, especially the first time I saw it. And the like you said about the werewolf being half practical effects, half CG, and still look that good.
Yeah.
It's that's just a factor of what this film is.
Yeah.
And I can believe it. I love the rusticness of this cabin. I love how the set design, how they get you into that attic and they make you look, they give you the choice of how you will die. And it's so many of this little trinkets and things and callbacks, and it just looks gorgeous. I want every bit of it in my life in some form or fashion. I'm mad they didn't have the Necronomicon. They should have put.
I'm sure it was in that basement somewhere because Deadites is written on the list. Man, he had the conch in his hand.
In his hand. Blow it.
You mentioned something about beautiful, gorgeous werewolves. Speaking of gorgeous werewolves, Hammer Time. What about you? What do you think about the style and the structure of this film?
I like the style. I mean, it's definitely inspired, but I think they did a good job with the style. I think it's shot well. I don't think there's not a dull moment. That's the thing too, is you could drag out certain parts, but the entire time of the movie, it's moving along. You know what I'm saying? Even the slower parts of the cabin aren't very slow. You know what I'm saying? It's really fast paced because they packed a lot into this. I mean, I think the movie's runtime is like a 135.
Yeah.
There's a lot of movie in 135. It doesn't feel like they ever just, had to, just buy time. I think the only slow part is when she's making out with the wolf, which obviously Dylan was into. So,
Dylan actually bought it, man.
It's definitely inspired. The set design. I like the cinematography. Everything's done really well, but with purpose. There's nothing that feels half-assed. You can tell that. I don't know what the delay was for the film because it wasn't it's not like this is a bad film or this won't make money. It was an awesome film that I think did well at the box office. I don't know if it pulled the numbers that some big horror franchises do, but and I also don't know what the cost is in comparison to something like they talk about the new Halloween, how much absurd amount of money it made for the cost. But again, this obviously had more visual effects and stuff like that. And I don't know how much Thor cost,
Yeah.
I'm sure Dylan.
Yeah. They spent,
Thor.
They spent 30 million on the movie, John, and they made 66 million. So for a horror film, that's successful.
That did well.
Yeah, and a lot of studios would be like, "Oh, that's all we made," but that's still money. You know what I'm saying? I think as long as you make a profit, studios are picky. You know, we want to make 5 times an investment, but it was profitable, and it also came out not toward Halloween. It came out in the spring, which is an odd time for a horror film. But yeah, cinematography, all that, very good job.
Hell yeah! Speaking of good job, Jay Strick. That's all I got. What you got? What you think? Style and substance.
Pat him on the head. Where's he at? He's right.
Weird stretch, John. Yeah, I read that it took him like 3 weeks to write this, which is really impressive when you think about it, because this is like a bold movie. And I guess to play off a little bit what John was talking about, I think probably studios were scared to take a risk on this movie. Well, I mean, it's kind of out there in certain parts, and you kind of wonder like, how is this going to go in a theater and whatnot. But man, yeah, like the pacing for me is there's never a dull moment for me, and it's shot so wonderfully that there probably is, like you said, there probably is the Necronomicon somewhere in there, and we just probably missed it. There's a ton of scenes where you could probably pick apart with just certain subtext of what it means and whatnot. So when a movie can do that and I can get to watch it, that's super impressive, because that means I can go back and watch it later on and enjoy it for other things, you know?
Absolutely. Speaking of going back, enjoying for other things later on, that makes sometimes, it just doesn't work, and you just got to go. Dylan, what you think about the style and substance? I know you were wanting to talk about the cinematography.
Yeah, the Peter Deming, he did the cinematography, and you know what he worked on? Evil Dead 2.
Damn.
And Scream 2, 3, and 4. You were talking about all the damn, I can't think of what you said about it now. I forgot, but yeah, Evil Dead 2 either way. That's crazy. So you could see they got that like right on the money. But I love the writing as well. Joss Whedon and Drew Goddard, like Strick said, they literally like would wake up at 6 a.m. and write till 1 a.m. every day for a couple weeks. And I heard Drew Goddard was super meticulous about making that basement, like with all those special trinkets, and he took weeks just to set that basement setting up, or the attic setting, or whatever it is. But man, they did a phenomenal job. And Joss Whedon, I heard, did the writing for the notebook, the diary notebook. Like Drew was like, "Yo, can you write that notebook out, or the diary?" And he just came up with that in like 5 minutes. I'm like, Jesus, man. Like, it just shows like how phenomenal like these guys as creators are, how they can just come up with, a whole life story for these, hillbilly, psycho rednecks, man. Like it's impressive, to see what they did. And it just shows that they had a real love for horror, I mean, and that these were good friends just kind of coming together and doing a passion project. They're like, we're fans of horror, almost as if we all got to, like me and Robbie. I forget. I know Hammer Time's a big horror fan. I know Brooks isn't as much, but like me and Robbie being die-hard horror fans, if we got together and we just, we're able to get a movie script together, and we probably need more than 3 weeks, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
oh no, we could do it in 2. It wouldn't be very good. But now so Drew and Joss had already worked together, right, on Buffy and all that kind of stuff. So they wanted to do something together. They wanted to, like you said, do a tribute to horror. So they got together, they broke the story down, and then they stayed in like I don't know if they stayed at a cabin, but they stayed somewhere, and like they just would like, they broke up. Well, I'll write this, you'll write this, and they just wrote it all. Drew said that he was going to direct it, and then towards the end, Whedon was almost like, I think I want to direct this. Yeah. But he was like, don't do that to me, Whedon. Don't you do that to me. Fable's like, Dylan dropping facts. And Billy in here entertaining everybody, say dropping into facts. Drop into facts. Yeah. Speaking of dropping some facts, Brooks, his favorite show is The Facts of Life. What do you think about the style and substance? I mean, style and what is structure of the film, man? The writing, all that.
I like it a lot, and it is like you can tell that it has that very Joss Whedon kind of humor to it. Like, you know how he did the same thing in like Buffy and Angel, where like he has the horror and the humor kind of mixed in perfectly. And I like how like the two is kind of a clash between the scenes and with the scientists, because they're in like this very kind of office building with monitors and stuff, and then you go back to the group, the main group, and they're in like a horror movie basically.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, this movie is just a whole lot of fun for me. Like, and I've always said that I haven't been much of a horror guy, but I'm starting to come around. I think I'm starting to enjoy horror movies and like get a better appreciation. I don't think I gave it a chance really.
Awesome.
And I'm starting to open my heart. And I think this movie really helped.
I let the horror in.
And on that day, Brooks's horror heart grew 3 sizes.
I'm gonna start jump scaring everybody all the time.
I do that.
I'm just gonna crash through people's windows in a hockey mask.
Let's take a look at the chat. Russell's in the house, has been looking forward to this. What's up, everybody? Yeah, what's up with you? Brett talking about Marty says best weed smoking character ever. I don't know.
He's
Slater.
close.
Slater might be the best weed smoking
Slater
character.
from where?
From Dazed and Confused.
Oh, duh.
Are you cool, man?
You cool, man? Yeah.
Maybe in a horror movie.
This ain't a horror movie, man.
David says, I count 1 extra nerd tonight. Hey, hole shoe.
Damn.
Harsh.
Called you a nerd, John. I wouldn't take that. Not from David fucking.
Beat his ass in Mortal
Take him to
Kombat.
Fight Island.
Not actually like in the game, Mortal Kombat.
Brett says Thor going all evil Knievel. Yeah, something like that. More going Super Dave Osborne. David also saying Super Chat should go to buying Brooks a lamp or something.
More like going.
Wow. Mr. Has is straight savage.
Comment. That's the best comment.
Billy's always talking about doing deadlifts, which are a very good thing to do. And then David said, Robbie will be deadlifting the Count Chocula soon. And you are damn right about that. I got all 3 monster cereals. I know J-Strick's already been deadlifting the Count Chocula, haven't you?
Oh, yeah. I already finished all my boxes. Got some more today.
God damn.
The diabetes is strong with this one.
Sam Fed says, love this movie. So do we. This movie's got a lot of monsters in it. Now, obviously, you got I don't even remember the name of the family. What is it? It's the Buckners.
The
Oh, yeah.
Buckners.
The husbandly bulge.
And it sucks because it's like, I know that like it's literally impossible to do a sequel to this, but like I wouldn't mind a prequel, seeing like another house,
Dude,
like,
yes.
cool?
Where they all die. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's also really cool. Well, they don't all have to die because remember, all they have to have is one success.
The virgin.
The globe. And one of the things that's really cool to me is that like
Amy Acker could be the virgin.
Well, like each house in each country has its own rules for what a horror film is,
Mm-hmm.
and so like that's why it was so different in the Japanese one, and I love it. They got the ring girl, basically the long hair, pasty face girl that you see in like every Japanese horror film. I'd like to see like what happened in Italy,
Right.
like the Argento, Giallo, Fulci type stuff. Like that would be really wild and cool too.
What was the building where it blew up, by the way? They're like fail, and then you saw like destruction.
There were so many of
a house that blew up, and I was like, oh wow, what did they do?
What happened there? This movie's got a lot of monsters. And so you got the Buckners, and they're the ones that actually get called up. But there could have been so many others. Like, I really just think it would have been cool with the Merman. Now, I'm going to ask you now, what were your favorite single monster or group of monsters? For me, I'm going to start, and they're fake Cenobites. I love. That dude with the saws through his head.
Yeah.
Later on, we dubbed him Fornicus. But he's got his own version of the
Hell
configuration. And it works so well, that moment where he's just like looking at her and he's so calm. And I'm like, man, I want to see more of them, dude.
I know. You think about how the movie could go so many different ways with each monster. You're like, damn, I want to see that.
Exactly. What about you, Delaney? What's a monster that stood out to you?
Hands down, the werewolf. The werewolf is the best
you
thing.
son
And
of a
plus, I know I'm sorry, but werewolf's my favorite horror.
Mine
monster.
too, bro. Mine too.
Yeah, dude. It's just it's so clean. His face was great. The fact the wolf that she made out with, the Jules made out with, kind of looks like that wolf in some ways, but that wolf, he looks like the face and the head and the body and all of it. It looked amazing. And like when Marty's like, look behind you, and I'm like, that werewolf. Shouldn't she have turned into a werewolf? By the way, if she got bitten, that would have been nice to
On
see.
the next full moon, she will. She's alive.
Yeah,
You
she's
think
dead.
they kill Marty and then happy ending?
Yeah, but I
that would've
love
been
that character. Yeah, that really would have been fucked up.
Yeah, that's
But
a good one. The werewolf looked great, man. It really
Yeah,
did.
he looked
And
fantastic,
You got
dude.
to see him a lot throughout it. Speaking
It
of
was
gorgeous
fun.
werewolves, Hammer Time Holshoe, what's a monster that stood out to you?
My favorite by far is one you don't really expect to be a monster. It only has a small appearance in the film with the unicorn.
I
The
was-
Daily Unicorn.
Yep,
How deep you think of
Fable agrees with you.
I was gonna. That was my second choice.
Right. And it's barely in the film. But can you imagine if someone did unlock that and this unicorn would run impaling like all the whole? I just love that concept, man.
He's got
I just
dead
love it.
bodies on top of it. He's just carrying dead bodies like on top of his.
Oh, yeah, yeah, like a baby. Oh, that'd be
Like they're kebabs, like baby
Yeah,
kebabs.
yeah,
That'd be terrible, right?
it'd be like intestines hanging from the horn. Yeah, I love the unicorn.
I just
love
love
it.
the idea that there's a unicorn in there.
I swear they took that
An
from
evil
Leslie.
unicorn.
It's actually the
Every time I
unicorn
see
from
that-
that movie, The Last Unicorn.
That's a good movie. I like that movie.
Oh yeah.
Man.
Weird stretch, dude.
See, I thought the
Fucking
legend
what?
bit was better
Don't
than
weird
Dylan.
stretch me. Don't you dare.
Speaking of weird
Son of a
stretching on
bitch.
people, Jay Strick, what is a monster that stood out to you?
We all taken a lot of the good ones, but I guess honorable mention when they pan away. I love that you get to see the two girls from The Shining in one of the boxes, and then the clown obviously just creeps me the fuck out, and then I love it when God, is it like a ghost or a ghoul that sucks the soul out of somebody?
Oh yeah, the
That
Dementor.
was a freaking classic, man. Like, what a way to go.
Yeah, that's a good one, right?
Yeah.
What about you, Dylan?
Man, it's hard. There's so many good
I
ones.
took yours. I'm sorry. My bad, dude.
There's so many good ones though too. Like that's just an easy one for me, the Wolfman, just because I love the Wolfman. But there are awesome ones. I'm trying to think. It's probably a toss up between like that devil creature or the merman. Did you take the merman or did you had the Cenobites, right?
I did the Cenobites, man. Talk about the merman. Feel free.
I'll go merman then.
I
So-
put this up because I was like, this is the closest thing I have for a Cabin in the Woods poster. Got a merman.
We hear about it the whole movie, so about how, what is it? I forget his name. The Hadley.
Yeah.
Hadley and Sitterson, but Hadley's the one who wants to see the merman. He's like, man, I'm never gonna get to see a merman, bro. Be happy. He's like, the cleanup on those is horrible. The funny thing is,
blood comes out of the blowhole.
right. The thing is,
And how is that thing gonna work, man? It's just gonna drag its body to each one and kill it.
oh my god, it's done so well. Just for that, like. How long you think those guys spent on making that, and it's in the movie for 2-3 seconds, like 5 seconds at most, because they do the blood shot out the back. But talk about he's putting money up to see that merman come out and kill people, and the last thing he sees before he dies is that damn merman. So that's just a funny, unique coincidence, I guess. That is,
I love it too.
crazy.
There's this moment with the music, and it's like he's finally seeing it, and then instead of being in awe, he just goes, "Oh, come on!"
Yeah, I forgot about that too. I forgot about that. The music is really good in this too. That was one thing I was paying attention to a lot more in this one, since I've only seen this one about 3 times. I haven't seen it much. I remember when I first saw it, I was with a girl, And she was like, I'd always try to be like, yo, you bring a girl to see horror movies, and she just wouldn't get into it. So I had to watch it kind of on my second time to really, sit back and watch it. So this was probably my third time, I think, watching it, maybe fourth. But man, it's a phenomenal movie. Like you said, I think I'm gonna be adding this one to the list at least, once every year or two. It's a phenomenal movie.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of phenomenal, Brooks, you're slightly phenomenal. What's a monster that stood out to you in here?
Well, I like the ballerina with the fucking crazy teeth face.
Yeah.
Like I started like, I want to know the story behind that fucking creature.
Right.
Like, where did this ballerina thing come from? Like, what is it? And like, apparently it's tied to the music box, I guess.
Yeah.
But
We almost
I kind of wish they'd have picked the music box instead, because I would have liked to see what that thing did. Because it's just
I bet
bizarre.
It eats faces off.
Like does he just like clamp onto your head to kill you or something? It's like, I gotta know.
I love it. Every single bit of the monsters here. And what was it? Kirby said, would have been nice if some monsters from Buffy made it into the movie as an Easter egg. I always kind of thought that the giant snake was almost a nod to the giant snake in Buffy.
Yeah.
Krevlo and Swan there.
Yeah.
Of the Deathwalk clan.
Yeah. And I knew that I knew that the snake was something that Whedon was never super pleased with in Buffy. So there we go. There's some great ones though. The unicorn really also does stick out. That's a great one. Great monsters, great use of them. It's a fun movie. It's a romp. It's a roar. It deconstructs horror and it reconstructs itself in a new fashion. So what is this movie about? To me, this movie is about why we are obsessed with horror as a society. For instance, you could almost be like the Bradley Whitford character and the Jenkins character, that they are the filmmakers. That's Drew and Joss, right? And we're the audience. And obviously they are making the movie in this movie. They're the ones setting everything up. Most of these characters don't have much free will in the film. They're being manipulated. They're being controlled. Their decisions are being changed. I love the moment where he's like, we need to stick together. And they're like, oh, no.
We split up.
Right. And it's actually, I think it's really obvious in the scene with where the woman is getting kind of sexy with Chris Hemsworth and she's about to take her top off. And apparently that's something that needs to happen and everybody's around. But when it actually is happening, they're just kind of like bored. Like they're not that thrilled by it. And that one dude's like, why we got to be like this? And he's like, because there are other people watching. We got to keep the crowd pleased. We got to keep the fans happy.
Yeah.
And I think the movie's talking about the methodical
plot,
cookie cutter kind of way that horror movies are made to be the most satisfying. And I think it's a great commentary at the end where I get the idea with Anna and Marty. They're basically saying like, we refuse to do something cookie cutter. We want to do something new and different. And if that means that the world dies, then the world fucking dies. But to me, the movie is an exploration on why we are obsessed and kind of inverting that just a little bit. Jelani, what do you think this movie's about?
Well, you said something like this earlier, and I picked up on it. It's deconstruction. It does break apart all of those horror tropes, and you expect one thing to go one way, and it goes a completely different direction. And I love how this film does that. I love how it does deconstruct. I want to know where I want to know how the sausage is made, kind of situation, especially in a horror film. And this one puts all the pieces together perfectly. So they have, for centuries, I'm guessing, they've been keeping these old gods at bay. And it's just these monsters have been collected for this purpose. And it's been happening all this time. So basically, it looks like all this time, so every horror movie I've ever watched or I've ever partaken in, one of these monsters has probably been in it, and they have collected all of them to release them however it's fit. So every movie I've ever watched basically is the ritual that has happened.
Yeah.
And I think that this film portrays that perfectly. I think it's a great theme for this film of just basic deconstruction for this film, and it subverts my expectations very well.
Absolutely.
I like it very
Speaking of subverting expectations and gorgeous werewolves, Hammer Time Holshoe, what do you think this movie's about?
I'm hairy like a werewolf. Does that count?
Not anymore. You cut your hair.
I did.
Prove it.
I think thematically, I definitely think about the whole Puppet Masters thing, like us not being in control, and then what happens when you deviate, because obviously they're like, oh, this is going to happen, and this is going to happen. We're going to make sure it happens. We're in control of this. And then things have deviated, especially not realizing the stoner dude was still alive. You know what I'm saying? That kind of threw a wrench in the whole thing. So this idea there's puppet masters and everybody's in control, I think there's a lot to that. Maybe I'm reading more into it than it should be, but I think there's this whole concept. There's a lot of things you have no control of, and there's people behind it, and they don't always have 100% prediction of what can happen. I mean, you can definitely, veer off course and change things because they can try to predict. Oh, we're going to do this X, Y, Z, and then they did, whatever. So I think there's a whole lot of the big theme is obviously there's a lot of it just deals with the tropes and homages to old horror films and stuff like that. But I think the theme was definitely the Puppet Master thing. I think was a big part of it. I think it's a cool concept, really.
Oh, it really is.
You're right. When you start watching it, you see these guys before you know what they do. It's like you're watching two different movies, and it's sort of confusing at the beginning, and then it starts to make sense, And I don't know. I still love this movie. Theme, no theme. I love the movie. I love this damn movie.
Well, I mean, it's got the theme, and you're right you hit the nail on the head with the idea of the puppet mastery and the manipulation and how that's kind of a warning and how, like, you can turn a really smart woman into a ditzy blonde just through the right manipulation. Now, obviously, hair dye and, all kinds of stuff. But
drugging, yeah.
You're right. You got to be wary of that, and that's a really good thing. And every once in a while, what it takes to throw a wrench in there is a paranoid stoner. Speaking of paranoid stoners, Jay Strick. Which that's totally not the way to describe Jay Strick, bro. On our friendship, I gotta go. What do you think this movie's trying to say?
See, I love this. You all three kind of had a different take on it, and I think that's the beauty of the movie, right? We can kind of all take different things, and I kind of took away the sense of like they're making this sacrifice to these old gods, right? I don't think they said like a timeline in the movie if it's like once a year or whatever. But in my mind, like this time watching around, I kind of got the sense that we were the old gods, like us, the consumer, right? And then the sense of like it wasn't like a jab at horror, but in the sense of like an homage to all the slasher movies and all those things. And I don't know.
Meta.
Yeah. Just very, very, very meta. And like it's like almost like the substance, like this movie breaks away from all those, right? It kind of stands alone on a hill by itself, right? Because the way it ends, it's not like any horror movie we've ever watched. So it's almost like saying we're gonna pay homage to the old, but the way we're gonna end this is gonna be its own new thing of horror. And it was epic and it was awesome.
Yeah, and it's a great commentary on the escalation of horror. Because there's that moment where James' character looks at him and he says, "Do you remember when all we had to do was throw a girl in a volcano?" If you look at the early days of horror, it didn't take much. Boris Karloff, dressed up as a mummy, taking 8 hours in the makeup chair just to do this. And people fainted in the theater. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They had horror warnings for Frankenstein, too.
And now we're pushing it. And we keep pushing it, and it keeps getting more gratuitous and more violent, more sexual, more crude, more irreverent. And what's it going to take to stop? And that's what I love about the end. We're just going to sit back, we're going to smoke a joint, and we're just going to let the fucking world in. You know what I'm saying? Dylan's the kind of guy that would smoke a joint with me as the world was ending, I'm sure. I'm sure everybody on here would do that. Even John. John never does that kind of stuff. John's like, oh, I don't know, guys. What if Dylan, what's this
joint and run away? Smoking by myself.
Free joint.
Like, you son of a bitch.
John would probably actually be the one to be like, "No, guys, we can stop the world from ending. What do we have to do? We're just giving."
If I smoke, it's gotta be out of that giant bong.
That ball cup. Yeah.
And then drink some coffee.
Yeah.
Dylan, what's this movie speaking to you?
Man, everything Jay Strick, everything Hammer Time said, everything Jolene said, everything you said, man, that I pick all those pieces up, the puppeteering, the homages. But one thing, man, that ending, man, is what always gets me too, because every time I'm like, shoot this motherfucker, man, like save the fucking world. You want, like, in every movie, you get that easy scapegoat where you're just like, they would have blown his head off, happy fucking ending. You know what I'm saying? Credits, like sunshine, she's walking out and the world is saved. But no, let's fucking sit back and smoke a fucking joint and fucking die. You know what I'm saying? With the whole entire world. Like, yo, like crazy, man. Like every time I'm like, just your jaw drops because you're not expecting that, and they never push that boundary. Like most people don't have the balls to do that, and it's just awesome that they took that next level and they really went for it. I love it, man. I was always thinking too that the stoner, I'm like, man, this motherfucker's a virgin. I'm like, the other girl, she could pull it, she could pass as not one, because it's like they're talking about her having a relationship with her teacher. I'm like,
right.
She's the virgin. I'm like, didn't she just have an affair with her teacher? I'm like, so the stoner's the virgin. I'm like, so just take her. I'm like, the wolf already did most of the job. Take her out and shouldn't we be good?
Yeah, she's the fool. Like, doesn't Jules' character or whatever even call her a fool at the beginning?
Yeah,
when they're
and she's the one who says the words when he's like, what are you doing? You know,
Dude, stop reading that.
Don't read the okay, this is where I draw my line in the sand. Don't read that fucking Latin.
Yeah, he's seen a few of these movies. He knows what's up.
Right. But yeah, man, I love this movie. Like all you guys said, man, it's one of the few great horror movies that has come in the last 20 years. Like, it's a dime a dozen with great horror movies, let alone when we're talking about the 80s. I know you know what I'm saying, Robbie. You watched that documentary. I wanted to say this because I thought about it before. Since now you've seen the documentary, they mention in that saying that everybody nowadays, back in the 80s, these were fresh new ideas. And nowadays, everyone just wants to remake everything, take from other people, and not have their own original ideas. And that's why those movies back then were so great.
Yeah,
that's what's great about this movie, is that maybe it takes from those amazing 80s movies, but it's its own thing. You can say it's like Evil Dead, which it is. It's homaging that, but it's its own movie. You know what I mean? And it respects what came before it. But it doesn't have to be a remake. It's not a remake of Evil Dead. It's its own thing, and it's totally out there too. Like it's a phenomenal movie, and I think that's why it stands. It will stand the test of time too, and it will be one of the best horror movies in these last 20 years, because it respects what came before it.
Absolutely. Speaking of respecting what came before, Brooks has no respect for what comes before, what comes now, or what comes after. Brooks, what's this movie about?
Well, I think it's about how free will is kind of like a monkey wrench in even the best laid plans. Because that's kind of like, when they're talking about the guy who basically is there at the gas station, the warning guy.
Like, the harbinger.
Yeah.
Like,
that's a great moment. Am I on speakerphone?
Rude.
They have to make the decisions. Like, they can manipulate events and kind of guide them, but in the end, like, all it takes is like one of them, like that one guy gets wise to it, and like the whole thing falls apart. Like, this whole operation is doomed because eventually this was bound to happen. Eventually somebody was going to make that decision, was going to like flip the switch and like just fuck up this whole plan. Because like, I think that's just like, if you give people a decision, eventually somebody's going to make the wrong or the right decision, depending on your point of view. So yeah, that's my take, man.
Absolutely. Let's take a look at the chat. Fable says this movie is the definition of is this real?
Facts.
Are we real?
Are we?
I'm
Are
just a
you real?
hologram.
Are we in the Matrix?
Easy Readers in the house. He says it explains why people do the stupid things they do
Yep.
in horror movies.
I agree.
JX3 says, but it's interesting how the Japanese class was able to win. I wonder if there were other groups that won versus the monsters. Yeah,
They
all
failed.
Except America.
Yeah, it's like everything was
Oh, we
getting fucked
really-
up at the same time.
Yeah. It was
The
great.
ending is all that really matters. Billy, that's like actually very profound. Perry's in the house. What's up, Perry? I wonder if Perry's seen this one or if he's going to pretend to react to it in a future video.
You know it.
Dude, if it's the end of the world, you can't hold back. You have to go for that max deadlift. There is nothing left to lose. Why not, right? Even if you give yourself a hernia, shit yourself, but you can deadlift 500 pounds, why not?
Weird
And
stretch.
we are talking about Goosebumps. That I actually like the Jack Black Goosebumps movie. Kirby says, even in standard horror movies, horror always returns after the final girl returns to a restored world. Bringing on Armageddon, like in this movie's ending, forecloses that possibility. Yeah, that's right. Stefan's in the house. He says, yo, fellas, 28 days later. One of the best of all time. I agree. Great one. That is a great one. That's really good. But then he goes, Cabin in the Woods is a goat, too. Perry says, it's on my list.
Good job, Perry.
He told me he just watched Texas Chainsaw Massacre last night, and it scared
nice.
the shit out of him.
Oh, I bet. Oh, man, I bet. That's so cool. Now we're getting to the ratings. So out of 5 possible you digs, what do you give this movie? You out there in the chat, let us know what you think. Jelani, out of 5, what do you give it?
It scared me to death, so I give it a 2. No, I'm kidding.
Shut the fuck up. Oh my gosh. I was about to walk off.
No, bro, it's a 5.
I'm out.
It will always be a 5. It will always be a 5. This movie is so clean. It is by far one of my favorite horror films. Yeah, I think I said everything I wanted to say at the beginning. Yeah, the werewolf does it for me. The unicorn does it for me. The very beginning does it for me. The ending does it for me. The characters are fantastic. It's beautifully paced. It's like 5. It's 5s all around. I can't really say anything negative about this film. There's no way that I can find something negative. And maybe the music all the time, but even then I'm like, I don't care because you're so involved and it's so fast paced. It doesn't really matter. Yeah. So all I think this movie would probably need is a sex man. So I'm just going to say,
I still believe.
Just a little more.
So
5 you digs from Jelani. I have a feeling that this horror fest, we're going to see a lot of 5s. But
that's good ones.
Don't worry, we got some franchise reviews, and you don't get all 5s through those. Trust me. Phantasm 3 is not getting a 5 from me. But I do want to point out one thing before we go any further. We were talking about all the different monsters. In one of those scenes, one of those wide shots of the hallway with the elevators and the monsters attacking everybody, there is a one-eyed, 2-horned flying purple people eater. Like literally, there's like one of those flying purple people eater monsters is in that scene, and it's absolutely fucking hilarious.
I forgot there's an awesome Batman, like vampire bat too.
Oh, yeah.
That
should have been the bat from Gremlins 2. How cool would that have been? And then when he knocks the dude through the wall, it's the bat symbol.
Yeah. You seen like in Blade 2, like when it screeches the mouth.
Oh yeah.
I thought that was sweet.
Yeah, speaking of splitting their jaw open so they can jump through a wall and make a bat symbol, that's Hammer Time Whole Shoes Weekend. What do you give this film out of 5 falls for your digs, buddy?
I give it a 5. It's a 5. Actually, that's the weird. Anyway, it's a 5, man.
Of the night, man. Let me turn it into a Weezer reference.
It's a 5, man. It hits all the right notes. Good cast. It's funny. It can be scary, but I don't think scary. But kind of, I don't know, man. It's great. There's nothing to complain about. It's really, they really pull all the punches, and it kind of hits all the right notes. That's a 5, man. It's a $5 foot long.
Yeah. If you watched the film when you were 8 years old, it would have scared you.
Yeah. Especially the ballerina monster.
Yeah. Horror films. Too many horror films, but
yeah. Speaking of 8-year-old mentality, J Strick, what do you give this film out of 5 possible you digs?
I give it an 8-year-old. Did you call me 8 years old mentality? Piece of shit.
You just picked that up on that?
Dude, this is hard. I've been giving out a lot of 5s, but we've been watching a lot of freaking good movies.
Yeah, that's
and
okay.
So
respect
it is.
Give respect.
It is. And if I didn't just fucking watch Lost Boys, I'd probably give this a 5 too. So I'm gonna give it a 4-5. I honestly don't have a legitimate reason except that I just watched Lost Boys, and that is just a 5 in my head.
Weird stretch.
That is a weird stretch. I don't understand.
Fuck you, buddy. Are you serious?
Yeah,
dude. I have a reason for not giving it a 5. I want to, but I just watched The Lost Boys.
He sounds like I watched The Thing, so you ain't got me no more.
I'm just Brooks from last week. He gave it a 4-5, so I'm just returning the favor.
Okay. All right. Let's talk about breaking expectations. Dylan, what do you give this out of 5 possible you digs?
It's close between 4.5, but I'm gonna give it a 5 just because it's timeless. It can last just like the old '80s ones can, and especially nowadays, it deserves a 5 because nowadays we don't get horror movies that last or stand the test of time. You go back and watch them, and the CGI is just terrible. Like even with Drag Me to Hell, that's a decent Sam Raimi horror movie. You go back and watch it now, some of the CGI is really bad. You know what I mean? So it's like this is one where they did it the right way, and it holds up. Maybe the snake thing goes a little far, but it still looks really good. Like the snake, you can obviously tell that's CGI. I mean, it's a fucking 100-foot cobra or whatever, but it still looks good, and just the way they mix the practical with the CGI, it amazes me, man, why nobody else will do it like that. It's just so rare. So
yeah,
it gets the 5. It's got it because there's not many in the last 20 years that are like it, and it's just so unique.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Brooks, what about you?
I'd give this 5. This movie made me laugh a lot, and it made me think more about these classic kind of horror movie tropes and stuff, and giving me a little bit more of an appreciation for slasher movies and stuff. So I think this movie is a classic.
Absolutely.
This is gonna be like one of those movies that down the line you'll be like when you see some kid oh man, this new movie is so scary. You're like, that movie sucks. Watch this movie.
Yeah. It's one of those movies that you can get super gatekeepy and pretentious about.
Yeah. All these new movies ain't even scary, man.
these movies.
I'm gonna give it a 5 as well, man. This is a favorite of mine. It's it's absolutely fantastic. I love it. There's nothing negative I can say about it. Everything from the writing to the acting to the monsters used to the CG to the practical effects, the cinematography, everything about it, including the bold ass ending, which Lost Boys doesn't have a bold ending.
Don't you dare.
I'm just gonna give it a 5. So that's 5, 5, 5.
Hold on.
4.5. No, you can't change your fucking point now.
I got vampires on my mind. I watched Near Dark today, man. So I'm just on a vampire kick. Just change mine to a 5. Give it a perfect score. I'm not going to be the guy that fucks up this movie.
Wow.
Really? I hope my live chat message didn't change your score or anything.
When
his line?
When Brooks gave this a 5, I could see Strickland's face. He was like, "Oh my god,
no, I fucked up."
And it was at this moment He knew
First
he
of
had
all,
fucked up.
I'm giving it a 4 or 5, and it's like the end of the world. But freaking Delaney gives like the thing a 3 because he scared him.
No,
We
You know
still,
what? Fuck Delaney. Fuck
I give
Delaney.
it 4 or 5.
we
Okay.
still give Delaney shit over that though.
Yeah, you're now about to get shit over your choice with Cabin in the Woods.
Let's
Surprise.
take a look at the chat. Easy Reader says 5, you digs. David fucking Hatch gives it 4. Well, fuck you too, David. Fable says 5, you digs. A love letter to horror movies. It subverts and plays with horror tropes while becoming something new at the same time. A timeless cut. Brilliant. Absolutely. Sam Fett says 4.5. Kirby says 5, you digs here. Hell yeah. So yeah, some good high ratings from the PCP crew and the PCP Army. David, no more cure for you when you come into the shop.
You're about to lose some subs, man. You need to chill out.
I'm just kidding, man. It's David Hatch, man. I'm just messing with him. That's David fucking Hatch. He's the man who can't be messed with. You know what I'm saying?
For now, when
But-
he comes to the shop, we'll play Tiffany. Just Tiffany
Yeah.
only.
The one damn Tiffany song everybody knows over and over. I'm sure there's a 10-hour cut of it. All right, everybody. That was our review for A Cabin in the Woods. Next week, we will be talking about Near Dark, as was just recently alluded to by Jay Strick down there. I'm very excited to finally be covering Near Dark, one of my favorite vampire movies ever. We've already talked about one of my favorite vampire movies last week with Lost Boys, and now next week, Near fucking Dark, y'all. I'm so excited. That Tangerine Dream score, it's beautiful. I love it. So that's the end of the movie review. We are going to take a short intermission, but we will be back to do what we call PCP Back Chat. We'll be talking a little bit more just about horror movies in general, whatever you want to talk about, maybe some recent pop culture news. Thank you, PCP Army, for rocking with us. We will be right back.
John.
Satan? Where are you at? I have a
Give me
question for you.
money, John.
I'll give you 50 cents.
Me. Hail me.
Hail you a cab? You need a ride?
No, man, I'm good.
Oh.
I'm sorry. Thanks, bro.
Is that good old? Is it say good old? Is that for jabroni? Good old jabroni.
Oh, son, I'm
What's
Jab.
your
Man.
middle name? Just out of curiosity.
My name is named after a famous boxer. So I'll let you guess. It's the last name of a famous boxer.
Mike Tyson. It's Delaney Mike Tyson book.
How did you know that?
Oh no, it's King Hippo. It's one of those characters.
He might
what's
be
the
greatest of all time.
What about the middle? What's like the Middle Eastern guy? What was his name? I can't remember all their names.
I can't remember his name either. From Punch Out? No.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name.
Okay.
I didn't get that far in Punch Out. I was terrible at Punch Out. My middle name is Ali, man. Good grief. It's Ali.
Oh, you know what? I think I knew that, and I forgot it.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny because Brooks's middle name is my actual name. It's Brooks John Holshoe Gibb. That's his full name.
Oh, okay. I guess
Weird,
that
isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Don't be giving out my secret.
What a coincidence.
Somebody's got, there's a little mute button at the bottom of the screen there that you can click.
Yeah, notice I muted it after I started coughing.
Yes.
Is that actually your hair? You're wearing like a hat. Is that your hair? Is it growing out that much, Strickland?
Yeah.
Is that a hat?
I mean,
what if we could make PCP hats that look like Jonathan's hair right now?
Dude,
it'd be like the headband.
We need a merch store, bro.
Amazing.
My Rambo hair, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing.
All right. I do want to welcome everybody out there in the chat into PCP back chat. That's right, everybody. It's the show after the show. How are you doing? Lakers are up right now on Nugs. During the show, fuck you, Dylan. During the show, J-Strick was like, Nugs coming back, and I was like, nah.
They were. They got within like 8 points, and then they blew it.
I didn't know what the fuck that meant. I was like, not like chicken nuggets. I didn't know what the fuck.
Sports game when we're doing
bro.
This.
That's on Sauce's back.
I don't watch basketball. Now I watch chicken nuggets.
No, it's not.
You want to be a sports commentator now?
Who?
Are they bringing back the Szechuan sauce? Let me know when that
Always
happens.
coming in like with these score details and stuff.
Dude,
always talking about
he
the
would be a
sports
good
balls.
sports announcer. Robbie would be awesome.
I would. Welcome everybody here today. We're going to be talking about. Well, the Yankees were down last I saw. We're playing the Red Sox. Oh, it's tied up 4-4.
If you were having a mediocre season, you would be a great. I'm saying, man. You want to color commentary? You want to do play-by-play? What do you want to do?
John, is that your real hair?
What I would want to do is I would want to be like what Dennis Miller tried to do when he was on Monday Night Football.
It'd be funny.
Really?
Kind
Try
of
to
be
be
funny.
Try to be funny. You can't do all that. He was terrible.
I think I'd be I think I'd be good though, because I think I would do it.
Yeah,
very
you'd be
well.
good because you're a bandwagon.
Yeah.
I'd have to. Baseball would be the only one I could really cover because it's the one I know the most about.
You'll be both.
Like
you gotta
with
bring me
hockey,
with you. I'll be the color commentary guy. You be the facts guy.
whenever I play a hockey game, for instance, on a video game system, I always like fucking violate these rules, and I'm like, I don't even know what the fuck I violated. I'm confused.
Just don't get Twitter, man. Don't get Twitter and start stopping yourself. That's it. You'll be fine. You'll do great. I think you'll make millions.
Anything you guys out there want to talk about, throw it at us. That's what we're doing. We'll do a little bit of show and tell towards the end of our night. So we still got some people in here, including Mike. We got Zen Soundwave in here. Can somebody please explain what happened in X-Men and Excalibur 12? The more nuanced details went over my head. I don't think everybody here has read those. I'm not going to do that yet. But look for that on Rockin' Robbie Live on Sunday. We'll probably talk about it. And I'm sure, like,
You can spoil Excalibur. I'm good.
No,
No, it all goes
You gotta
together.
read
buddy.
this
You
one issue
have-
of
Does this
Excalibur.
start
Dude. You gotta read this one.
you have to read this issue of
Is this
Excalibur,
Exoswords? Does it start Exoswords?
bruh. Yes.
Okay.
You got to read Excalibur 12 and then X-Men 12. You got to read it in that order.
in that order.
Bruh.
Give me an Excalibur 12 then. I don't know why I'm saying that again, but okay.
Well, you know, I'm not at work right now, but whatever. You know.
Yeah, bro, yo,
Bruh, but like, will you go give me that cover?
bro, go to the goddamn store and pull Excalibur and grab me.
If it's not there, Dylan, every time I go up there, they'll be like, we'll get the second printing next month.
It's coming on like a Saturday.
It's gone because I work on Wednesdays. So
Oh yeah,
Right.
yeah. Prove it.
Quit your job. Quit being a pussy.
quit my job to buy comics. I'll do it.
God damn.
I'm-
Robbie.
I'm sure we'll have
Robbie.
plenty of Excalibur 12s left. I'll throw one in your box tomorrow. If I remember, send me a reminder.
Take a shit on that comic.
Yeah, you might have to send him a couple of reminders. But
Robbie.
Robbie, you think
Fuck you, Dylan. You're the one with goddamn 3
Robbie.
goddamn ways into the store. You're like messaging me,
Robbie,
you're messaging
Robbie,
Mike,
Robbie.
you're messaging J Strick.
Robbie.
Yeah.
Yeah, what?
Who
What's
else
freaking-
works in there? Who else works there so I can get a fourth way in?
He'll own the deep button. Oh, real quick. I finally
y'all
read
good?
all of the Thors. I read all the Donny Cates Thors finally. And oh my god.
Including one that just came out this week.
Did you read the last one where Thor died?
Yeah, he died.
Crazy.
You ruined it.
Robbie, you think it's essential to read every story, like with the X of Swords, like how they're gonna do like each title as a part? You think it's gonna be essential, like they're all gonna connect? Like, because lately they haven't been. So I'm like on the fence if I should add them all, because I just dropped New Mutants after 12, because I've been like, man, you know, like I needed to drop. So I'm like at X-Men, Marauders, X-Force, and Wolverine. And I get Cable too. So
I can't tell you for certain yet because I haven't read them. But I get the sneaking suspicion that it's going to be because the one shot that really officially kicks it off, which comes out this upcoming Wednesday, which is Creation, X of Swords Creation.
Right.
That is written by Jonathan Hickman and Teenie Howard. Howard writes Excalibur. Hickman writes X-Men. And out of everything so far, those seem to be the two that lead in the most. At the same time, Cable's been dealing with the sword stuff. So I think it is going to be kind of essential. I think the main thread will go through those 3 one-shots and Excalibur and X-Men. But I think other ones, because you're going to have the return of the original Horsemen, right? You're going to have 10 powerful swords that are going to have to be collected up. I definitely see like each book being their own mission into finding a sword or something, right? If you look, I think it would be it's probably going to be, if I had to guess, structured a bit like Age of Apocalypse. You get what I'm saying? Brooks, for instance, like Brooks and me have dived into Age of Apocalypse, and the way that they're all their own stories within one overall story, and they all have bits that become relevant at the end, at the climax. But you do get benefit from reading them in a certain order, aside from reading them all together. So,
you're right. God dang it, you're right.
I'll probably have to, because it's like I have been on it since the beginning. So it's like, man, I just haven't been reading them though lately. So I'm like, I want to make sure like when I do read it, I can read it the proper way. So I messaged my guy to be like, yo, can I just get everything? Because I see if it's not too late. But,
I think that it would be beneficial to you to get them all, especially because as a YouTube commentator, people will probably want your opinions on them. You know,
Yeah.
So that's something I will let everybody know, obviously, in the weekly comic book review, what I feel about them and how necessary I feel they are. Overall, I like the state of the X-Men books. I think they're all pretty solid. The ones that I don't really like that much right now, it was Excalibur. It was just a little. It's not that it's bad, but aside from the Apocalypse stuff, I didn't really seem to care too much about
the characters. Only the Apocalypse stuff.
Yeah.
But all the Apocalypse stuff is very essential. Everything Apocalypse has done in the pages of Excalibur has helped lead to Ten of Swords. So
I dropped Excalibur at after issue 6.
I think I did it around that time. Around that time too.
But I'm basically liking them all. Even New Mutants, it has its down points, but overall it's so good. I'm loving Cable way more than I thought I would. I am adoring Wolverine right now, and X-Force Marauders. X-Force Marauders and X-Men to me are the cornerstone.
Beautiful one.
Those ones are great.
That's why, because those are the 3 I got on my poll right now, and I was like, should I just get them all? Because I want, Cable and Wolverine too, but I'm like,
I only have Cable 1. Cable 1.
Cable's been really good.
I need to get into that. How many issues is it into? Do you
4, I think.
4 now? Okay, I need to sign up for that one too. Okay.
It's real, it's surprising.
I thought I had it, but I don't think I took it off.
Jerry Duggan is a phenomenal X-Men writer, man. He's what got me to love Glob. What was it? The Age of X-Men stuff. I forget the school one that he did. I can't think of it.
Yeah, I didn't read all the. Brooks read all the Age of X-Men
stuff.
stuff.
You know the one because it was one me and you. I think we read Prisoner X, and the class where it was all about the kids in school.
New X-Men.
What? No, I don't think.
New X-Men?
Maybe, I don't know, but I know Glob was in it. So
let's get John involved in the conversation. John's not reading currently the X-Men comic books, though he should, because I know you're a big X-Men guy. John, have you seen the X-Men Marvel Legends coming out? Is John with us?
Hello, John.
What just
happened? Are you deep in trance, John?
Okay, I was really confused.
Photo of yourself up? Were you hiding in plain sight?
John put a cardboard cutout of himself.
He put a cardboard cutout of himself.
He's like, fuck this. I'm done.
He's been killed by an internet ghost.
It's so convincing.
That's what I was doing. Wait a minute. Why is Sir Timothy Dalton there in his spot? Just put my glasses on him.
Yeah, you still have that. Don't
I haven't seen anything. I don't really collect figures. I do like the X-Men, though. I haven't really seen any of the new Marvel figures. Is that what you asked me?
Yeah, something like that. Are you still pumped for the new Bond film?
Yes. I didn't watch the new trailer because I'm afraid it spoils. I'm trying to avoid the trailer. Remember, we saw Bond, and I didn't want to see the new Star Wars trailer, and I was trying to avoid it, and it was tacked on the new Bond. I'm like, son of a bitch.
Yeah.
I hate watching trailers. I want the initial trailer, but then I want some stuff left for the film. I don't want to spoil stuff. I'm excited. I'm super excited. I was kind of disappointed with the last film. The trailer looks good. I love Daniel Craig, so I'm pumped.
You think we're actually going to get it on time?
Nope.
Yes.
No.
It was already filmed, right?
I think it's filmed out in November. I think they delayed it, and I think they're going to go for it. I don't think it's going to be on VOD. I think they're going to go theatrical and see how it plays out.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, they tried that with Tenet, but it doesn't seem to have worked.
Yeah, I think this November, I think they're going to go for it. They're going to, they pushed it off. It's never going to go VOD. I mean, people are like, well, just do VOD. They're not fucking doing Bond VOD. That shit's not going to happen.
No.
Just wait. I can't wait because if they do,
but
I'm going to cut that out and just keep playing it over and over. I mean, at this point, I think some of these companies are like, we got to make some money. And so they tried their grand experiment with Tenet, and Tenet didn't rake in the money that it should have.
Mulan?
Yeah.
Mulan, I did Mulan.
Yeah.
How did Mulan do
back, man?
What? What'd you say? John, what'd you say?
Who was that a question to?
Does anybody know how much money Mulan actually made? Was it successful?
It was like 30%. They said 30%. 30% of the Disney Plus sales. Yeah, 30% of the Disney Plus sales they said went to Milan. So it didn't do as well as they thought it was going to.
Hundreds.
Yeah, hundreds and hundreds of dollars. Yeah, it did not do well, and people are still trashing that film because they're rightly so.
It's also not a good film, right?
It's not good at all, and they spent like $200 million on it. Oh man, 37. Yeah,
well, Tenet's somewhere probably around that.
Yeah, woefully underperformed because you can't do it.
Yeah,
you can't. What Mulan costs to make is my
$200 million. $200 million. They filmed it. They filmed it in a place where they have concentration camps.
John's in another dimension.
I think his internet's delayed because his reaction was like 10 seconds late.
It's great. I love it. John, the one of us who has fiber.
I'm about to say you got Google Fiber, bro.
Shit together, John. Jeez.
It's this shitty computer I'm on.
You're making us look bad.
The computer, man.
You're not putting that professional air off.
Yeah,
man.
Brooks is like, that's my job to make us look bad.
I might buy a camera.
There's some better lighting too.
Yeah, that's what
the lighting sucks.
Oh yeah, prove it. Anyway, I didn't like Mulan.
No,
it was boring. But
it's the worst movie I've seen all year, and
I've been accused of people. I've been accused of people like maybe you were just too wasted, and I'm like, yeah, maybe, but I don't know.
But it was still trash. It was still trash.
You and I don't even drink.
Bro, he's on those natter days, ain't he?
It's because I left like 40 of them over there.
Yeah, they're good though.
Yeah, that's what I'm drinking. Actually, the ones you like. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I had a question for you all.
Yeah.
The pre-orders for the PlayStation 5 for this week. Next week's the Xbox. Any of you guys getting the new Xbox for the PlayStation?
I want to get the PS5, man. I need a PS5.
Did you pre-order or no?
No, God no. I can't afford that right now. I got toys to buy. God no. I got too many toys to buy, man.
Bro, you can pre-order like a GameStop for like $5.
I don't care. I don't care.
But they do make Mario 3D collection, man. I don't need none of that shit.
No. Is it reverse compatible?
No.
Can I play Final Fantasy 7 on it?
Somewhat.
So it's not backwards compatible. I can't play like
not the PS5. The PS5 will be backwards compatible with some games on their online store, but I don't think it will be for physical disc.
Boo. I don't like it.
Plus, you got to pay $100 extra bucks to get the physical disc, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 500.
Yeah. 400, I think 400 for the disc list, and then 500 for the disc one. And then if you want the one with the sex attachment, it's 600.
Now, John, you're a big tech guy, especially with gaming tech, and is it not true to usually it's a bad idea to get the first generation of things like this?
Because of the bugs that may happen.
Yeah, typically at first gen, you're paying more, you know what I'm saying? They'll do a price cut or they'll make some changes like we changed the cooling system. You buy the very first system, but you're paying for that whole hey, being first. Hey guys, I'm first. I got it first. You know what I'm saying? But there are going to be price cuts. There can be changes we changed the controller, or we changed the cooling, or we changed the disk system. Things happen, man. They make revisions to systems. So day one's not always the best idea, but it's also kind of cool to be there in line. I was in line day one for the Switch. I do not regret that, man. It was a really awesome experience.
I love how waiting in line for a fucking video game system to John is like a very wonderful experience.
Screw that. I ain't standing in line for nothing.
I am thinking about getting a new console. I'm getting ready to purchase one not too long from now, hopefully, depending on how things go.
PlayStation or a Switch or an Xbox? Probably PlayStation.
No,
baseball?
It's going to be a Nintendo 64.
Yeah, an N64.
Yep.
That makes sense. Got the Mario 3D collection for the Switch, dude. It's got Mario 64.
Yep.
Mario Sunshine, and Mario Galaxy.
The Switch is a fucking expensive thing, man. I don't want to. I'm not paying for a Switch. I can't afford that. I live alone. I got bills, man. I buy too many toys. I should have bought that arcade one up. I didn't. That was Strickland.
You're doing it eventually, right?
It's coming.
I don't know, man. I kind of want what you have.
Yeah, yours is gorgeous. Do you have Mortal Kombat on your arcade?
He doesn't want to put anything old
Yes.
school on it though, because it's going to make it look pixelated.
I have the
No,
Mortal Kombat.
he has the new Mortal Kombat.
Who cares, John? John put the old stuff on, man.
Yeah, put
Bro,
old school on it,
I
man.
have some old stuff on there.
Put Friday the 13th on there. Me and Brooks will be there all day.
You could be Spawn in the new Mortal Kombat.
Who cares
That
about
game-
Spawn? I'm no longer a Spawn fan, by
I'm
the way.
no reason
That
to
expired.
be honest with you.
What
You're back
changed?
to ripping up issues of Spawn,
Oh, yeah,
throwing them in the garbage.
I
What
just
changed?
decided to be a Spawn hater again.
It was a whim. After the
I'm
the
back.
movie has worn
I'm
off.
back to being a Spawn fan. But for
You're
a moment
getting
there,
your
I wasn't.
McFarlane. You're getting your McFarlane version.
Oh, I know. No, I love Spawn. Don't get me wrong.
Okay.
I'm still a Spawn fan for life, probably. That's just the way these things go. I'm reading the new comic. I'm on issue like 62. I haven't read a Spawn for like a couple weeks, but I've been reading. Look at Rondo. Look at Rondo. Dylan, what are you up to, man?
Nothing. I was gonna ask you. You ever see a Cronenberg movie called Shivers?
I've never seen Shivers. I've seen Scanners. I've seen The Brood. I've seen Videodrome. I've seen The Fly.
Yeah.
I think those are the ones I've seen.
No, it's on. It's like $10 for the I forget what is that company? Vestron Blu-ray. I was kind of thinking about getting it because it's only like $10 and that's a good price. But I like Cronenberg, so all those other ones I've seen are really good. So
It's probably worth picking up.
kind of get reminiscent of Night of the Creeps, but like obviously different. You know, not as comedic, I guess.
Yeah.
So, I might check it out.
Are we streaming tomorrow night on your channel, Dylan? After dark?
Yeah, I don't think I got anything going, so yeah, I'm down. Trying to
I
stick
won't-
to Saturday like always.
But next week I will be there. This week I won't be able to. I gotta celebrate one of my friends' birthdays. So
Yeah.
Really,
I mean, that's
Yeah.
fine. The show goes on without you, Jelani.
yeah,
Why I'm sad about it.
yeah,
I'll bring the diversity.
yeah.
Thanks.
Big
Thanks.
jerk bring
Thanks for
that-
being the
bring
token, bro.
that-
I appreciate it.
Damn. So everybody pay attention tomorrow night on Dylan's Comics. We'll be there streaming PCP After Party, Horror After Dark with Dylan's Comics. We had a lot of fun last week. I did. I hope you did, Dylan.
Hell yeah, it was hella fun, bro.
You got
I
a
love
topic in mind? You were talking about wanting to do some topics, like ranking certain
yeah.
franchises.
Yeah, I'm gonna think of something tonight. I should have. For like the next week, I'll try to give you guys a heads up if we do like a top 10. But I mean, maybe if there's a top 10 or something, you could probably do one on the fly. That might make it even funner.
I mean, I think we would probably like at least a couple hours notice, but
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
what we do. That's what we do.
Yeah,
Top
Yeah,
five
what do
for our
you-
life.
I'm going to say, young man, you sent us like an hour before the movie. You sent us a rundown.
yeah.
Because I forgot that I said I was going to do one.
I mean, ideally, it'd be like the day before.
Hey, we
Yeah.
kept it.
Have you ever been on one of our podcasts? I have people waiting for fucking weeks for the rundown sometimes.
Hey, can I get one of those
Probably
rundowns?
an hour before,
Right,
You
John?
kept it at an hour and 15 or an hour and 12 actually. You said you wanted to do an hour and 15, so
Literally, like we didn't do it Friday, we went now Thursday.
Did you say something about Thursdays? Is that when Seinfeld comes on? Seinfeld and Friends? Must see TV?
I was talking about that restaurant, TGI Thursday.
Jesus.
yeah, dude, they got great baby back ribs.
Do they have nuggies? Nuggies?
Do they get chicken nuggets?
And they got
Are the baby back ribs made out of real baby?
Oh, that baby. Oh,
Babies.
I love that baby.
Yo, Drake fell off. Someone go help me pick that shit back up.
That's a deep cut joke, man.
It is. Sorry.
There's literally only like 8 people that would find that fucking funny.
And I got them all
All
here.
of the ribs.
I think 20 years ago. Jesus. I wish we still had that video. Do you still have that video of his picnic? where he's like, we got bratwurst, we got
So-
cheddar wurst. Like we had convinced him. Nobody even knows what we're talking about. Don't worry about it, y'all.
That poor dude.
Don't worry about it.
Worry
Sorry.
about it.
I got this Galactus behind me. Isn't that cool? He's usually right there, but now I'm on a new desk, which makes me feel so far away from the camera and the microphone. I'm like, what's going on?
Speaking of Galactus, in the Donny Cates Thor, wow, is that permanent? What
He's
happened?
fine.
Bruh, it's Marvel Comics. Is that
Bruh,
permanent?
it's Marvel Comics.
He's just
40-year-old.
hanging out.
This 40-year-old
They
dude is still
killed
getting
it.
fooled. Like, oh my god, they really did it. They fucking killed him.
They killed him.
He's done. Superman's never coming back. Doomsday killed him.
God dang it.
Back 2 issues later.
Batman's back is broke, y'all.
Wait, good question.
It's
Good
done.
question. Is
You gotta-
Alfred still
Bruh,
dead?
Batman's
Is
dick
Alfred
fell
still
off.
dead?
Dude, Batman's dick fell off. That's why we didn't see it in the rest of Batman Damned.
Yeah.
I had covered Dick Fall Off Batman issue, and I got it signed.
Gaslight all of you. God.
This is why I love
I actually
hanging
had
out here.
Strickland sign it.
You know it.
But also about Galactus, do you think they should make a HasLab version of Galactus like they did the Sentinel?
Sure. I mean, I'm not going to fucking pay
I'll never
$400
pay
for
for
Galactus, but that would be dope.
That would be.
That
I
one's
mean,
good enough for me. I got the Toy Biz one too. That one's good enough for me. That's the
Yeah.
Marvel Universe one.
That one's pretty
Me too.
badass that you
The
have.
3 3/4 inches.
It makes sounds, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty clean. I like the Toy Biz one.
I don't know if you could hear that. Probably not.
It's the first Build-A-Figure. Yeah,
I don't
but
have
that
the
one-
Build-A-Figure. I want that. I want that
It's like
Build-A-Figure.
$160 or something like
It's more
that.
bruh, it's like
It's
260.
more than that. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
and Brooks have that.
Yeah. I have all 4 of the original Marvel Legends Build-A-Figures, the large ones.
So does Brooks.
Yeah.
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 Is it Galactus, the Sentinel,
Galactus, Sentinel, Giant Man,
Apocalypse.
and Apocalypse.
and what was the fourth one?
The big 4. Apocalypse, Giant Man,
Giant
Yeah.
Man. Yeah.
Galactus. Yeah. Giant Man, Galactus, and the other one you said. Yes. But they're awesome. They're still fantastic figures. They hold up, and I will never sell them. I may never sell them.
Yo, buy
And,
them for $5 right now. $5 a piece.
$5?
Yeah.
That's impressive offer.
Yeah.
You better sell, man.
I'm gonna sell now.
You'll never get an offer like that again.
Dadgummit.
I can tell the foam is setting in on you, man.
That money. All I see is dollar signs.
Yeah.
All the fives.
Don't you want to put a down payment on that gift? I'm talking.
Let's do it. Sure can do it. Dylan, like, I forgot to ask you, man, what's your favorite horror movie?
What's your favorite scary movie?
What's your favorite scary movie?
movie?
Yeah. Like, of all time. Like, it bothers you.
Dude, it would be like a different one each day. Like the one that bothers me, I don't know, man. I haven't had one that bothered me since I was like a kid, but like the ones that bother me wouldn't be my favorite. Sometimes like shit like Hostel,
That makes sense.
can bother me like when it's just like that.
That makes sense.
Or you know what always bothered me in Pet Cemetery when little Gage goes and old Mr. Herman Munster's walking down the stairs, and just slit.
Yeah.
That every time the Achilles tendon one just gets me when you just like collapse. You're like, you feel
That's what
it.
I think of with Audition. With Audition at the end, where that with the oh my god!
When the bag jumps in Audition, always fucking gets me, even when I know it's coming.
Yeah,
He's alive.
Ugh.
I would go to the what's the girl in Pet Cemetery? Well, she's not really a girl. A guy plays it, but
I don't know.
his
See,
sister.
because this is me. I've never watched Pet Cemetery.
Wow.
I don't like dead animals, man. Dead animals come back to life.
Oh,
and do things.
we're supposed to make the announcement of the winner of the PCP Army Stephen King movie poll.
Oh,
Okay.
sure.
Because Pet Cemetery was on that poll. Did not do very well. So don't worry, Jelani, you won't have to watch it now. Salem's Lot was the winner, y'all.
I like Salem's
Yeah.
Lot.
It was a close race until last week in the back chat where we basically campaigned for Salem's Lot, and then people actually changed their votes and then Salem's Lot 1. So we'll be doing Salem's Lot Thursday night. It's a Thursday night show.
Wow.
No,
I've never seen it. Never seen it.
You never
Same.
seen this? The original Toby Hooper one that they did.
It's pretty damn awesome.
But how much did it
I'll
win?
watch it.
What?
Yeah.
Did it win by only like a couple?
I mean, it
You want to watch it together, John?
it didn't like landslide or nothing, but it won by a substantial number. Hey, we got Bob in the house, everybody, from Everything Comics.
Bobby.
Hey, dude.
This is evening, y'all. The most recent film that bothered me and stayed with me for a few days and messed with me was The Platform on Netflix. I haven't seen that one.
That's a
Never seen
good
that
one.
either.
It's one of those
Let me see.
one of those like foreign movies, but they put an English dub over it. It's a good one though. It's one of those unique ones where it's a.
Where was it? Where's it originate from? What's the native
It's
language for it?
Spanish. It's Spanish.
I forget honestly. It could be like.
I'm looking it up now.
I wanna
It says
say
the
it's like
platform is
European.
Spanish. Yeah, it's Spanish.
Is it Spanish?
It says it's a Spanish science fiction horror film directed by Guider Gaztelu Urita. I'm remembering that man's name. But yeah, it says it's a vertical self-management center. It's residents who are switched every 30 days between many floors are fed via platform. I don't know what that means, but there's like food at the top and like people fight. It sounds pretty cool.
I'll have to check that out.
If it's on Netflix, I might check it out. Why not?
It's on Netflix.
One thing I recently watched, and I talked to Strickland about this a little bit, and Dylan as well, but Dylan recommended it to me. But it's a documentary that's on Shudder. It's 4.5 hours. It's called In Search of Darkness, and it's about 80s horror. Like
80s
probably
horror.
literally outside of the 30s and 40s, the best decade in horror. I mean, 30s, 40s,
Oh, yeah.
70s, 80s. 30s, 40s, 70s, 80s. It's like these waves, right?
Mhm.
But the 80s horror, I mean, it's great stuff. And they really talk about some monumental films. They go like year to year, right? Like they go 1980 and they just talk about some of the monumental horror films of that year. They have people like John Carpenter's one of the people that are on there. Stuart Gordon
Nice.
obviously had done his interview before he had passed. So that was cool to see him on there. Mick Garris and a bunch of the actors. And it's a really great documentary. It's 4.5 hours. I breezed through it so quickly. And when it was over, I had that same feeling when I got to the end of Cobra Kai. I was like, oh. But they would go year to year, and then they would do like whole segments. A whole segment on music, a whole segment on the characters, right? And I was actually writing down the movies that I didn't own anymore on Blu-ray. And so like I got a list now, a master list of things to get, and plenty of ideas for Horrorfest to come. Like
Yeah.
Chopping Mall, I know that's one
Are
that
Joe
John liked.
Dante or Toby
Is that
Hooper
the
on
one
there?
about the robots?
Toby Hooper passed away,
Yeah,
so he wasn't able to do it. But Joe Dante is on there.
Okay.
Yeah. I
Which
wish
I
I
love.
would have got Tom Savini is one that they missed, and I don't know. I don't understand how. I wish he would have been on
He
there.
may have been
Oh,
bugging
yeah.
or something.
Probably.
They
But,
talk about him enough, though. He was like the
Right.
king of special effects in the
He
80s.
was.
Yeah.
We met him.
We did.
I,
Me and Delaney met
We
Tom
met Tom
Savini.
Savini.
Wow, that's
He
awesome.
was awesome, dude. He's a great dude.
We met him in
I
Chicago in 2002.
And his gun, the penis gun,
He had the crotch gun, yeah.
the crotch gun from Dust Till Dawn, he had that on the table. It was so clean. Oh my god.
I pre-ordered Terror. They finally Shout Factory or Scream Factory's doing a Blu-ray of Terror in the Isles, and I pre-ordered it just because of that documentary.
Oh,
So then
nice.
I can look at the poster and figure out what movies I need to still watch.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Donald Pleasance, he narrates that documentary, so I just want to watch it. Period, because it's the first time it's ever had a disc release. It's only been on VHS. It's never had a DVD release, so I'm excited for that.
Tom Savini. Yeah, what's crazy is that when me and Delaney met Tom Savini, we didn't get anything signed.
Nothing.
We
Should
didn't buy
think of it.
We didn't buy anything from him. We really didn't even know he was there. We're at a comic convention and we looked and we were like, it's fucking Tom Savini.
Fucking Tom Savini.
He's the guy that he's in Dust Till Dawn, and we just went over there and he had all this imagery of Dust Till Dawn and Dawn of the Dead and all Friday the 13th, all the stuff. And we We just had a conversation with him.
Yeah, just talk to him.
We didn't. I feel bad now. We didn't
I
like
did
buy
too.
anything. We didn't get an
We
autograph.
didn't take no pictures. Well,
Yeah,
that was
we took
time.
we
Yeah,
took a
like,
picture. We took a picture of him.
Yeah,
But we didn't take a picture of us and him.
and him.
We took a picture of him holding up his crotch gun.
Right.
That's
Exactly.
so weird. Why didn't we
so
take a picture
sad.
with him?
I'd be like,
Because back then we didn't think of stuff like that. We just it was.
Is he in Dawn of the Dead?
Yeah, he's
No,
the biker.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he's one of the bikers. He's also he's the makeup effects artist, bro.
Yeah.
So like
Okay. He was one of the actors. Okay.
All right, no, Jay Strick. Tom Savini did the makeup on Dawn of the Dead, on Day of the Dead, which is the best stuff. That's when Nicotero came in. Friday the 13th, Maniac, like so many of these movies in the 80s. And he's an actor as well. So he is in movies. He's in Dawn of the Dead. Have you watched it yet?
Yeah, I just watched it today.
He's one of the motorcycle guys. He's like he's kind of like the main
got the
asshole.
Dark mustache. Yeah, he has got the dark mustache.
Black cutoff shirt. He's got the black sleeve shirt.
Yeah.
My favorite performance of his is in Night Riders, though. Anybody ever seen that? The George Romero film? Oh,
I
love
haven't
that
seen
movie.
it. Wow, though. You know, it's funny if he wasn't in the army and like on off to on leave, he had to go to the army and leave the country. I guess he would, like, George Romero wanted him to do the practical effects on the first Night of the Living Dead, but because he got enlisted, he couldn't do it. So when he came back, you know, he did Dawn of the Dead and Day of the Dead and all those other ones, which, man, it would have been crazy that if he started off on Night of the Living Dead, but dude, man, that man did so many good movies. Like
he's
The
so
Burning.
influential.
Have you guys seen The Burning?
I've heard of The Burning. I've not seen it.
Oh my god, we should be reviewing that shit, bro. That's a good one. The
Okay.
Burning, phenomenal movie. I always forget his name, but the guy from Seinfeld, the short, bald one.
Jason Alexander.
Yeah, dude, it's got a young Jason Alexander in it, and it's phenomenal.
With hair.
It came out the same time, I think, or around the same time as Part 2, Friday the 13th. So a lot of people would kind of say it was a ripoff of Friday the 13th. But dude, because there's this character called Cropsy, and it's not really spoilers because it's on the cover and it happens in the first 2 minutes. The guy gets burnt like alive. But dude, like, and it's a campfire. Or
a horrible way to go.
Yeah,
it's a horrible murder.
It's a campfire horror slasher, but dude, man, it's a good one, man. It's really good, and some of the best practical effects by Tom Savini, like just memory. Like, I'm surprised you never seen that one, Robbie, with the hedge clippers. Like, dude, he's just like, the hedge clippers up in there, man. I love that movie.
Yeah, I gotta check it out. So Eric says the 40s as the best years in horror. What are you talking about, Robbie? You know a tremendous lot, but you don't know everything. Well, you're right about that. I don't know everything. And I will 100% tell everybody that the 30s is superior to the 40s. The first wave of Universal is way better than the second wave. We're talking about The Mummy. We're talking about Dracula, Frankenstein, Bride of Frankenstein, The Old Dark House, The Invisible Man. Come on. Dracula's Daughter. I get it. But I love that second wave, too. We're talking Son of Dracula. We're talking The Wolfman. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about The Mummy's Hand, which I absolutely adore. You'll find out in 2 weeks on the second episode of Mummy Monday. But so I stick by my idea with the 40s, but it is the 30s in particular, and then the 80s, because even the 70s had some great horror, but mostly towards the tail end, which kind of mostly led into the 80s, so it's kind of like a reverse of it. But yeah, I get what you're saying. But, you know, there you go. I don't know if I'm real. I don't know if anybody here is real. What do you think is the best decade in horror? Dylan?
80s.
I figured you'd say that.
It's the most prominent.
But it would go between like the 30s and 80s, because you gotta respect the 30s because that's where it started with all that Universal stuff. But 80s is just where they revolutionized it, you know, like, and went ape shit. So it'd be between those two.
Would anybody here not say the 80s? Okay.
No, I mean, I grew up through most of it. I grew up through most of it, so yeah, I'd say the 80s.
I say 90s.
I would
Scream.
not say the 90s.
I would not say the 90s.
Bruh.
2000.
Scream franchise. You get New Nightmare, and that's about it.
Yeah, so why even say the 90s? That's
Yeah,
not one
that's
of the
it,
best.
man. That's not. You can't name off 20 movies.
I mean,
in
there
All
are-
right, bro. I just take it back. I say 80s, bro.
I mean, there's some good ones in the 90s too that you didn't mention, like H2O, The Frighteners. I mean, there's some good ones. Some of the Stuart Gordon and
forgot
Joe
about
Romero were still
Frighteners.
making movies, you know?
Yeah,
So-
90s is just when they started to kind of pull the same type of formula because they would like what Scream was so hot, so then everyone wanted to pull that formula. Then you get
I know
Valentine,
what you did
you
last
get
summer.
Urban Legend. I know what you did last
I
summer.
like those
yeah.
movies.
Though, which I like. I love. I know what you did last summer. Some people might not. So a lot of people hate on the 90s,
Oh, the
but I
first one.
Bro, no.
still think
Jennifer
there's-
Love Hewitt can get it.
Oh, we did a podcast on 90s horror, last year, John? Like that was a fun podcast. We had a lot of fun with it. But
yeah.
I think most people think it's the 80s, especially because, John, isn't that our like most well-performing podcast is the 80s horror? You know, 70s horror does
Yeah,
well, 90s
is.
horror is okay, but 80s horror, people love that. They love those iconic figures.
80s horror, yeah.
Yeah,
I think it owes a lot to the later part of the 70s. We're talking the Argento stuff like Suspiria and all of his giallo work like Deep Red and Bird with Crystal Plumage and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
We're talking about Tobe Hooper doing Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
the
Wes
original
Craven.
Halloween.
The original Halloween, Wes Craven doing Last House on the Left and Hills Have Eyes,
Yeah.
Alien by Ridley Scott. So the late 70s especially, I know that Last House on the Left was a
79.
little bit
Yeah,
better.
it was,
78, 79.
Oh, but The Omen is a 70s movie.
Yeah.
You know, so there's all spread throughout there. The Exorcist is a 70s movie.
Exorcist is a 70s movie.
So there's some
It
great
is.
stuff in the 70s too.
yeah.
50s is mostly like sci-fi giant
In
ants.
the 70s, like Hammer films too.
Those were mostly in like
Or
the
is that
60s,
60s?
50s and 60s.
Yeah.
I think.
Okay.
Like some of those Hammer films are a little cheesy.
Yeah, they are. Some of the initial ones were all pretty great though.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're real Strickland. Yeah, I think the 70s are highly overlooked. Jaws, that's one easy read. Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
another 70s one. I believe it's 70s called Pieces. That's a good one too. I
I've
swear
never
that's
seen that one.
70s. I could be wrong.
Pieces.
Rosemary's Baby. Yep.
Yep.
Oh, yep. Another
I
good
concur.
one. You got to have patience for that one, but that's a
You
good
do, but the payoff is like
one.
his
Mhm.
eyes.
Yeah.
Eyes. Yeah. Yeah, that's a word. Yeah.
My favorite is one of my favorite horror films is Suspiria. I think that's just
Yep.
a
Exactly.
beautiful, glorious film.
Did you like the
best
remake?
horrible murder?
I haven't watched the
I
remake.
haven't watched it either.
I watched it. It's not bad.
I'm excited for the Tom York score. I've actually listened to it. And I'm like, man, I really need to watch this movie because the score seems pretty neat, but it needs the movie.
It's on Amazon Prime. It's on Amazon. It'll be on
Is
Amazon
it?
Prime forever. Yeah.
Yeah, I've always been
I
so
need to
nervous
watch
with them
tonight.
remaking that because so much of what Suspiria is
It's the
it's-
colors,
it's the style. It's not the story.
style of
It's the
it.
style of it. The story,
the
I can
look.
give a shit, but
Yeah.
it's the look and feel of that movie. Just
And the best murders. The opening
The
murder.
beautiful
fucking-
murders you've ever
Fucking
seen.
murders you've ever seen. You're just like, damn it. You kill somebody like that? Okay.
That's
All
elaborate. That's elaborate.
right. The barbed wire? Oh, fucking shit.
The barbed wire that's so obviously not barbed wire. So obviously not
Yeah.
razor wire, but Jelani like loses it every time he sees that.
Because you don't expect it. Every time I'm not used to it. Because, like, she's escaping.
You
Like,
know, they finally got that on Blu-ray. I gotta get that.
yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
That's one of my favorites of the 70s.
Yeah, good times.
John, what's your favorite 70s horror movie? Is it Halloween?
Yeah. It's Halloween. Halloween's the best, I think, from the 70s. There's a lot of good Halloween. I mean, the 70s was great. There's a lot of great films, but Halloween by far.
Okay. What about you, Delaney? Favorite 70s horror film?
I would go with him. I'm sorry, it would be Halloween. Halloween still is freaky, and Michael Myers is still my favorite slasher of the slasher genre. And he's a straight up stalker, man. He's a beast.
I love Michael Myers, man.
He's
If I
the
could,
best. He's the
yeah,
best.
he's the best killer. It's
Oh, behave.
like he's
Wrong
after you, and I like how they go back to the roots with the this Halloween 2020 movie of it just being him instead of him being tied to Lori and all that stuff. It was just still a guy. It's a guy that
Yeah.
killed people.
Are you talking about the 2018 one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
New one.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like
Not
it.
2020,
But in ways I don't, because it's like we've lived with them being attached for so long. You know, 'cause it's just hard to kind of push that out of your head. And like 'cause
Right.
my mom, she doesn't like that. She's like, it's stupid. She's like, they're related. Like she doesn't kind of understand the one. You know, like I was like,
The
well,
movie's stupid.
And you don't get that till 2. You don't
I
get
was
that
like,
till Halloween 2.
yeah. Well, you know, I grew up watching both. You know, so that,
Right.
and she watched them with me. Though, like I have a fond love for the second one. You know, it's not what the first one is. The first one is an art film. It's beautifully shot, and it's just magnificent the way that John Carpenter does it, where he uses where less is more. When Halloween
Yeah.
2 is more is less, you
It's
know,
a lot
like
more.
he uses more, you know. And I think that was Dick Warlock is he's in The Mask. Who the hell directed it though? Fuck.
It was somebody. Oh yeah, I
Second
forgot.
one?
Oh, it's gonna
The
kill
second
me.
one. The
But
second
that
one.
was it. That was his
Hold on.
first. Yeah, who directed the second one? It was his first direction.
Can you pull that up, Jamie?
I know who that is, but damn, it's killing me.
Hold on.
Because I know Tommy Lee Wallace did Halloween 3, but
Oh, Rick Rosenthal.
yeah, Rick Rosenthal.
Rick
Yep.
Rosenthal.
That was his first one, but you know, we got a drunk John Carpenter just trying to figure out what to do, and he just makes them brother and sister. You know, gives them a connection, which I don't think that's a big reason why I think they took it out. And with getting him for the new one, getting him to do the score, getting him to produce, and you know, having him kind of come and be a part of this new series, because he didn't like Halloween 2. He resents it, honestly. He always said it, that he says too in Search of Darkness, he's like, until 2018, we've never had a real story. So to him, there is only the first one. He doesn't really even think about the other ones.
Acknowledge the other ones.
Yeah, acknowledge them, exactly. He's
Mhm.
like, until this 2018, he's like, they never had a real story to tell. So, you know, I like it, but you know, as longtime horror fans, longtime Halloween fans, I love Michael Myers, and I've seen every one more than once.
Yeah.
Even
Me too.
Resurrection, man. I've seen Resurrection a shit ton of times.
Ugh.
When I watch them all, I'll watch them all. I can have fun with Resurrection, you know, but H2O is just my favorite. Like, well, it's not my
It's the
favorite,
soundtrack, son.
but that
It's
was
that
the one I
music,
saw.
son.
Yeah, dude, it's
Uh-huh.
good. It's great.
It's-
And that was the one I saw in the theater. That's the only one I saw as a kid. I saw that 2018. I don't know if I saw the Rob Zombie. I think I saw the
I saw the Rob Zombies.
first one.
saw
I
both
didn't
of them
see the
in the
second
theater.
one. I don't know if I saw
I was
the second
incredibly
one.
drunk for the second one. I was incredibly drunk, and I hated it. And I was with my ex, and it was horrible. All we did was like argue the entire time about how bad this movie was.
I think we saw it at the drive-in, and we were like totally pissed when we left. Now that I remember, because
It was
I love seeing.
horrible.
Yeah.
2 movies I've seen incredibly drunk like that. It would be that and X3. X3, I was trashed, and I was like, I hate this film, and I hate this film, and I know I hate this film. But then I saw Halloween 2 years later, and I was like, God, it's the same experience. It didn't turn into anything. They made Loomis a joke. Rob Zombie and he always wants to put his wife and stuff. That's fine.
Right.
That's fine. But they turn her into this ghost. And you're like, why is she a ghost? And then they make Lori like insane. Just she's driven to madness, just like Michael was. And it ends abruptly. It's not a good film. And Halloween, the first Rob Zombie Halloween is okay because it gives you the psychosis of Michael Myers, like you see his family life, you see all the stuff and how brutal he is. I like how Rob Zombie films how brutal and how disgusting
I like
his life could
how
be.
they make him brutal. I actually really did like that first one at a point. Oh no, my bad if I cut you off. But I like how they made. I really like that movie. I hate that rape scene. That's the worst. I won't watch the unrated
I forgot about that part.
because of that. But I like how brutal they make it.
About that.
Over the years, though, I don't really like it that much anymore. I'll watch it, but that's the thing. That's what makes the original one so great, is because I think I've said this before too. Is that he's just a regular guy, a regular kid, a regular family. But in that Rob Zombie one, you're like, bro, I can see why he snaps, bro, because his life is shit. You know, he's got that piece of shit dad or stepdad who's like,
his whole family is horrible.
Yeah, man. Like his mom's the best one, you know, his mom's the better one, but that one.
Because that's Rob Zombie's wife.
Yeah. But he had to, and that's not the second one. It always pisses me off because they don't even get the same kid back, and it's like if you had to do these fucking stupid flashbacks where it's like baby Michael or young Michael talking to adult Michael, it's like get the right kid or just don't do it. Have the mom talking there.
That kid grew up he was too tall. Like he was growing up too tall, but like the problem was they wanted those flashback scenes to look like him before he killed his sister, and they couldn't do it because he was too big.
It's like then just fucking scrap it, you know. It's just stupid.
Exactly.
Well, I appreciate y'all's deep dive onto the dissection of the Rob Zombie Halloween franchise. I want to get Brooks involved in the conversation. Brooks, what do you want to talk about, man?
Well, has anybody seen the fifth episode of Lovecraft Country yet?
No, not me.
Yeah,
I only watched.
I think it's my favorite.
It's troubling.
Is it? Dude,
it is awesome.
Was awesome.
It sucks I can't talk about it though because Robbie hasn't seen it.
I haven't seen it, man.
Skin, man. It's all about skin, man.
Shut up, Joe.
Hold up.
That's it. That's all I said.
I know, man. I get it. No, I'm loving the show though. I think it's great. Dylan, you watched it?
I watched the first episode, and I watched the second episode. I really want to wait for it all to air because I hate waiting week to week. And especially after watching the first two episodes, that's such a good show. I can tell it's gonna, as long as it has a good ending, that show is going to be amazing. And I just want to binge it, man. I can tell. Yeah. It's phenomenal. It's phenomenal.
They do this right, it will be the best. It'll be my show of the year if they do it right.
Yep.
If they do it right.
Yep.
What do you like about it, Brooks?
What?
In general, what do you like about Lovecraft Country?
I like the
God.
I like the this weird kind of mystical society that it's about. You know, kind of I guess the more Lovecraftian aspects of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I like these fucking weird elites that just do these fucking crazy mask parties and shit.
Yeah, they're freaking wizards. Coven of wizards.
I really like the girl the blonde girl with the crazy blue eyes.
Yeah, I can't remember her
really
name.
Liking her.
Yeah, she's like a model in real life,
especially in this that last episode.
Yeah, it's about the skin.
I gotta digress, though. I gotta digress.
It's about the skin.
Speaking of about the skin, it's time for a little show and tell. We're hitting the show and tell portion of the show right now, everybody.
I thought you were going to say we're going to start stripping now.
Well, if that's what you want to bring to show and tell, that's your prerogative.
It's my prerogative.
Speaking of skin,
watch me rip mine off.
Pull a poltergeist.
The strippers from Coffin Down shit.
What's your favorite modern horror franchise? Do you think anything's had an impact since, say, Scream? I personally like the first 4 Saw films, but I haven't really seen much after that. I don't know if I really want to, but I'm interested in this new one coming out. I like the 2 Hostel films we got. I think they did a third one, but it wasn't Roth, right?
No,
But,
What was that?
what?
the third Hostel.
Oh, Hostel. No, I liked all three of them. The third one wasn't as good as
I
the
haven't seen the
first
third
two,
one.
but it was actually pretty good. It was better, way better than I thought it would be.
Colonel Angus says Conjuring, maybe. Now, I've seen only the first
Colonel Angus.
Conjuring, and I love the first Conjuring. So,
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, it
but
started.
I haven't
It's
seen
awesome
2 and 3.
also.
They've done 3,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
then there's
I
the
think
Annabelle
so.
stuff.
Good. I like
We're
2.
waiting on the third one.
Yeah.
I do like them both. I like the Annabelle films too.
Insidious.
They're not something I can watch all the time. But I didn't. The Nun really disappointed me. It's okay, but it did really disappoint me. They could have done a lot better. But I guess, kind of like in The Conjuring 2, like less is more. Because it worked really well in the movie when they used her less. You give her a whole movie, it didn't work as well.
Did we miss something? Was I supposed to get something about the Conjuring?
No, that wasn't about the Conjuring.
What was I don't know what
Yeah,
I
that's the whole Conjuring universe, dude.
I'm not explaining what was got.
I don't. I've
Don't worry
barely
about
been
that.
paying attention. All right, Don, do you think there's been a successful horror franchise in your opinion that's captured you, your imagination since Scream?
No, it's been shit. There's been some great standalone films, but there hasn't been any good trilogies or sequels. I think the coolest concept they got a sequel, and it's just okay, was Happy Death Day had that sequel. But overall, man, I don't like the Conjuring movies. They're okay. I don't know. None of these movies recently. There's some great horror films coming out. Don't get me wrong. There's been some ones that caught me by surprise, but none as a series. There hasn't really been good sequels, or I don't know. And I think the Saw movies, rewatching them, I remember them being okay. I tried to rewatch them, except for the first one. Man, they're shit. They are.
They progressively get worse.
Yeah, the subsequent sequels put too much emphasis on, the shit you thought happened in the last episode didn't happen. In this movie, we're going to reference, I'm like, what? They're too relying on each other, and they're too relying on disbelief. Now, the first Saw film holds up really well, but subsequent films don't hold up well at all, and they're actually pretty
And they're
bad.
like, remember this person? They set up this other part. Yeah.
I'll go check out the new film, but recently, there's been, again, a lot of one-offs, but I haven't seen any sequels or any series that really, grabbed me. Yeah. I think there's a chance for it to do it. You know what I'm saying? I'm waiting for that next big horror franchise, but
Yeah, I don't know if we'll get one for a while, right?
yeah,
They'll ruin it either way.
I blame Strickland.
I blame you.
Oh,
Prove it.
Jazz hands. We should all just stay like that to confuse the viewers. Like, what the fuck? Is this frozen?
There have been plenty of times where I was like, is John frozen right now? But we usually think of that about Brooks. Like, look at Brooks right now. Like, he could literally.
That's a cardboard cutout. He went to Jump Juice.
he paused and it's now cut out.
All right.
There's a picture of my cat.
Put some pants on that cat, you fucking pervert.
Trying to show fucking kitty porn in here.
Really, sister?
Hey, no, it's Bob Dylan. Gotta grab it.
Oh God!
It moved.
Oh, he grabbed my goods. I don't know if you guys saw that.
Speaking of grabbing goods, show and tell. Hammer Time Whole Shoe, you're up. Show us what you've got.
I got something we talked about earlier. Brooks actually talked about 2 things. One you guys will care about. One you guys will not give a shit about.
Bruh.
I got this in. That's the collection that Brooks was talking about.
Yes.
I
wanna get that.
Cartridges, man.
Odyssey and Galaxy. Yes, I have these, but be able to play them on the Switch and play them on the go in 1080p. I'm excited about that. I'm a big Mario fan, so you can't go wrong with getting this collection. If you got a Switch, why the hell not? You know what I'm saying? And most of these I've beaten, but I actually never beat Galaxy. I never finished it, so I'm going to go back through all of them, and I look forward to that, man. I'm excited. I haven't been playing my Switch. I haven't been playing any games lately, to be honest with you. So that I'm excited about. And then something that, again, no one's going to give a shit about that I'm excited about is I bought a Trembucker from one of my guitars, a humbucker. It's a Seymour Duncan humbucker.
That's cool. That's dope,
It's
dude.
Libra.
Okay.
It's cream and black, and it's going to go in the bridge. Because I have a couple Stratocasters, but I don't have any of the humbuckers, so I need that, that more thicker sound. So it'll give me one guitar that kind of varies from the rest. So I'm excited to wire this puppy up. And it's Seymour Duncan. Seymour Duncan, American, iconic, make great.
Yeah. Prove it.
I can get it back in the box.
You're absolutely right, John. No one gives a shit. No, I'm kidding.
God damn. I care.
I'm kidding, man. I care.
I like the zebra thing,
Yeah, I like the color, and it's a cream
dude.
black, and I'm going to change all the other parts to a cream color, so it'll look really cool, I think.
Hell yeah.
Cool.
Very nice, very nice. Dylan, show and tell, you're up. Show us what you've got.
I didn't really get much this week.
What you got, you piece of shit?
I kind of forgot, but I got this today.
Oh, cool.
Dude,
Oh,
yeah.
It's
Let's just
only
pop
like,
that in.
yeah.
Those
Watch
bothered
it.
the crap of me as a kid. Yeah, dude.
It was only like $29 on Amazon. I mean, with tax, 31, I think. But complete series, George Romero.
Yep.
Nice.
They played those late at night on our ABC affiliate.
Yeah.
They
Dude,
scared the crap out of me, man.
Weird stretch with the clock in your background, Dylan.
With the what?
With the clock in the background.
What clock? Behind me? My
Yeah.
clock? Why
Yeah.
is that weird stretch?
Well, it's just 2020. I mean, we have time on our cell phone, so.
Oh. So we don't tell time anymore on the clock?
Confucius says, huh?
What is time?
What the fuck is time?
Please do not put on shades right now.
They're actually not in the room right now.
Yeah. Yes.
Did you own it? You guys own that?
Yeah, Brooks has my copy. Oh, I don't have that cover. No,
Oh, that's
dope.
cool as
I didn't
shit.
know that. I haven't
Oh,
kept it up.
nice.
It's still the lenticular cover.
Yeah, I like that cover.
Is that
That's
first
very
edition?
nice.
Yeah,
That's
Nice.
an awesome cover.
it's out of.
Still in the plastic.
That's
That's
out of. Hey,
Dad, I want that in my life.
that's
That
cool
is
though.
pretty
It's
cool,
kind of
man.
like,
Oh, it's got the monsters. That's cool.
yeah.
I like it.
Wicked,
If
twisted
you look,
fun.
Delaney's in the bottom left in one of those boxes.
Yeah, no shit. I'm ready to come out.
I think it's got Greg Strix in one of them too.
Da, da, da.
That's great. We're all in boxes right now.
Isn't that trippy? Are we here right
Hey,
now?
Sawhead. I'll be
Are
the
we
werewolf.
real?
Are we?
Are we even
Can you hear me?
Very nice.
Excuse- Time is like a load. Excuse me.
John,
Nice.
Mike says put them humbuckers on a Gibson SG.
What?
Then Mike says time is like a load.
Wow. You kiss your mother with that mouth?
Then he goes, time is like a loaf of bread. He's using that's the Brian Greene space-time analogy. Look at John's flipping out. Do you want to respond to Mike?
I'm a Fender guy. He can be a bag.
Oh, God.
All right.
This is
All
just
right.
a ton of weird fucking stretches.
I love it. Was that everything, Dylan?
Yeah, I didn't really. I mean, I could show some figures.
Why don't you?
I'll
Yeah,
just
show us like 30 of your pops. Come on.
I'll show them next time. We got plenty more. I didn't really. I forgot to, and I don't want to take that much time up.
Oh, damn.
Oh, damn, man.
I mean, I can get something, but I
No,
just
it's okay, man.
want to be quick. I didn't want you guys to.
No, man. It's whatever.
20.
Don't pressure him.
Dude.
Sweet.
He's
Calm
like,
down.
look at my clock. It's 12:30. Let's move along. Brooks, show and tell, you're up. Show us what you've got.
I found
Those
this
are
at
good,
Walmart
man.
the other day. I picked it up.
Cool.
I've been watching it. It's got the
Bro,
got
is
the
that a
first
fucking.
day, so it doesn't have Jason Goes to Hell.
Right. They
What the hell is that? Is that a freaking
Yeah,
A track? What is that?
Paramount.
Remake.
Is that
Yeah, I've
It's the
been
Paramount
watching
film.
through them. I've been liking these movies, kind of.
Yeah, they didn't own the rights for them
So
to
the
have
VHS?
Yeah, because I think like didn't the
Everything was-
studio switch change or something?
Yeah, it was a studio change.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's why they couldn't
Yeah.
own Friday the 13th.
Paramount
they had
did the
to go
first
with-
ones. It was
Yeah.
Paramount, and then it
Well,
went to.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
John
is
knows
the
about
Paramount set.
I don't know who was talking.
Who is talking?
It was Jan.
Hey,
Are we
it's my
even?
time to shine, guys? So shut up and let me do my thing, okay? Okay?
Yeah, we're sorry, Brooks.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Brooke.
We're just don't forget the show was 15 minutes late because of you.
Bruh.
Gotta be bringing up the past.
It's
Blame
bad.
Brooks.
You
Hashtag
can't go
blame
forward unless you deal with the past.
Go ahead, sir. Go ahead, please, because look at Dylan's clock. We're running out of time.
When the
Okay.
12:45. and Dylan-
Also picked up a special little figure 2
Oh.
pack. I got the Power
Oh,
of Rogue
nice.
Biz going.
bruh.
And like,
Mike.
it was cool and all. But I got it for the Rogue, really, because this is my favorite Rogue costume. I think
Oh.
I love the dark green and white one. I think it's probably my favorite.
Mike.
I like
Bruh,
it better
calm
than
down.
the classic 90s Rogue outfit. I think.
That's awesome, though. That's amazing.
And I got one more thing in the spirit of the season. I got this little coffin here. I mean, just a coffin, nothing special about it, right? Bam! Jump scare zombie. I've got this sarcophagus. I'm sure there's nothing inside there, right? Boom! Jump scare mummy.
What the fuck is going on, dude?
I
What?
love them. I tried to buy these off of Brooks so
Where
much.
did you buy these? Like the Dollar Tree?
There. Boom! Jump scare wolfman.
Ah,
Those are cool.
And it's just like it's just a bed with a little sheet on it with some straps. Nothing in there, right?
there's nothing in
Boom!
there.
Jump scare Frankenstein.
No, I don't think it is.
That doesn't look like Frankenstein's mom.
I don't believe you.
Find
It
it.
looks like
Oh
Frankenstein in
my
a food
God,
movie.
dude,
I love
that
this thing.
was-
This thing is pretty neat, I think.
I have tried to buy those from Brooks so many times, but he
Where'd
won't
you
let
find?
me go.
Where did he find
I don't
those?
know. There's one of those things that's kind of like acquired. I don't even know. I don't know where they came from or.
I have
Oh.
I have Universal versions kind of like that were Burger King toys. So I don't know. Maybe they were some.
Oh,
Those
yeah?
sound
Maybe
more
like
Prove
when
it.
George worked at Taco Bell. Maybe it was like toys from Taco Bell at some point. Maybe
maybe who knows, right? Who knows?
because they have like these little sticky things on the back, like they were stuck to a board. Maybe.
Show it again.
Show it again? Dude, show it again, dude.
Yeah, prove there's a
Dude.
sticky thing on it.
Pop it out again, dude.
We've
That's what
lost
she
John.
said.
No. Oh, God, dude.
He's broken.
that-
Throw in the garbage.
All right. That's very nice, Brooks. I like how you bookended that with seasonal appropriate for Horrorfest show and tell. I like that. J Strick, show and tell. Show us what you've got. You're up.
Bruh. I got a first edition. I opened some of my Lightning collection up finally.
Cool.
Ranger Slayer's fucking dope, dude.
Isn't she? She
Beautiful.
is so, yeah,
Oh,
she's
God. Oh, God.
Edition?
It fell off the log.
a mini broker.
Is that first edition?
Not anymore. I just dropped it.
Lord Draken.
Draken.
Draken. It's fine. Does he play the flute well?
Bruh, I got this first edition. Bruh, put the screen back on me, you
What's
piece of
this?
shit.
What's this?
I didn't do that.
What happened here? What's going
I
on, man?
I didn't do that.
How dare you?
I was not done with my toy showing.
Not done with his toy show.
First edition Spawn.
Bam!
Still in the package.
Actually, sir.
I gotta get mine.
I'm actually never going to open this, and it's going to be worth the same price it was today, 20 years from now. It'll
Exactly.
probably actually be decreased in
Exactly
value.
what those toys
I
are.
was gonna get that one, but I was like, do I really need it? I was gonna just take the mace and just send it back, but I was like, I don't know.
And, bro, you know, because we on the kick still. Bill and Ted Omnibus.
Womp womp. It's everybody.
Look at this comic goodness.
Very nice. Very excellent,
You
dude.
better take that Spawn out, man. It doesn't do it justice until you take it out.
Hey,
Dylan's
Oh.
so bothered.
Dylan, by the way,
Yeah.
Dylan, I finally got a Spawn, and I showed it off, and you weren't here to see it, dude.
Damn. Did you get the sword one?
Yeah, I got the sword one. I got that on,
Oh, yeah.
and I got like chains. I gotta show
yeah?
you the chains for it. Yeah, I'll do that. I'm doing this all in the middle of J Streets. That's
This
right.
is J Strick's time to shine.
It's my time
It
to
is.
shine.
Stop trying to steal his
And
shine.
nobody else's.
Is that your hat, sir? Are you wearing a hat right now?
Prove it.
It's-
There's actually my Lego here.
Are you
I'm just
spending
gonna-
20 minutes trying to put a dragon
I actually
statue
have-
together?
No other toys to show. That was it.
that was it?
Take it out of the box.
Open it.
Bruh, if I take it out of the box, it's gonna take 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's true. You do suck at opening things.
Tip
Ain't
it.
nobody got time for that.
Oh, prove it.
Bruh, prove you got a guitar.
A Qatar? What's a Qatar? Is that like
I have a
Qatar?
humbucker.
Like Hawkman?
Like
from
the
back in the day?
country?
Jelani, show and tell you're up. Prove it.
Yeah.
Show us what you've got.
All right, I've got a lot. First of all, Mike, it's cool. You don't have to worry. The first thing I got is this bad boy. Now I did show one off last week, but this one
That's dope.
the week
War of the Realms furniture.
Yeah.
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 I love this. I have the other one, but I use the bike for Ghost Rider. The bike is so versatile, but I want to have one to show off with my Punisher. I'm so excited for
That
this.
bike
figure.
is awesome.
It's so clean. I might get a third one. I was just looking at it a few days ago. I was like,
That's a Ghost Rider bike?
yeah. It goes with the Ghost Rider that didn't come with a bike. When it came with a set, I think this is a great replacement for that. So
It
I
doesn't
just
have
had to-
flaming tires, though.
Yeah, you add flaming tires, which I have flaming stuff, so it worked out. I got it, and I showed pictures of it.
Okay.
Next, this is my stupid buy of the week. This is the dumbest buy because a new set of Star Wars figures came out, and I was all excited to get the Mandalorian, and I couldn't find one at any store, and I couldn't find it anywhere else. So I bought it on eBay, and I was like, "Yay!" And it came in, I was like, "Yay!" And it was the first one. So,
I wonder if
I completely did a deep where I didn't read the description, and I was just like, "Oh, cheap Mandalorian!" And I bought this one, and it was on accident, and it's fine because now I have a Mandalorian in the box. Yay! All right, stupid by the
you
way.
already have one out of box?
I've got one out of box already, and I don't want this one. I want the season 2 version where he's all
Yeah.
got the best
pre-ordered,
armor.
I pre-ordered one at
So-
GameStop. I don't know if it's
You know.
ready though yet.
Yeah,
They
I'm gonna
sent my
end up-
Boba. They sent my
I've been doing
Boba.
a Cad Bane pretty soon too.
Yeah, they should have those. Now, next I got Cable from the Deadpool 2 movie, the Walmart exclusive. He looks pretty cool. He
Teddy
comes
bear?
with a teddy bear and such.
It kind of looks like the brother from Goonies.
Yeah, kind of, sort of.
That's a good call there, John.
Change it back. Change it back.
John
All
doesn't
right.
like being soloed.
I will learn to sell my face. All right, and of course with our Halloween theme, I bought a new. Oh, that's us. Yeah. Hey, everybody.
Hey, Dylan.
Hey, Robbie.
Hello, Dylan.
Hey. All right, and for our Halloween thing, I was gonna bring up, of course, your boy.
Nice.
Nice.
I finally got the NECA version. I wanted to get the Halloween
Look at
2
that
version, but it looks like it's a Claus. Yeah, he's a sweet
The,
copy.
the Halloween
He's-
is better.
He's holding the head. Yeah, I'm gonna get the Halloween 2 one as well. I
Who
just
is
want
that
to
guy?
get this one. The guy that does the stabby stuff. That's
That
why
Jason Voorhees.
I think that's
I
Jason
think
Voorhees.
that's ready.
Get a
that's
head
right.
mask.
No,
And
that's
also-
Ash.
His
That's
companion.
Ash from Night of the Living Dead.
I got
Oh,
the
I wanna
Ultimate Laurie
get her.
Strode.
I still haven't got her.
She was clean at Target, and I was
Is
like,
she?
yes, I must
Yeah,
have
girl.
her. I must have her. She's got gun. She's got a sweet
Dude.
knife.
They should have given her one that was like with some blood on her, like instead of like it's like who wants the ones with the glasses?
Yeah.
Robbie, is that you, Robbie?
Yeah.
Okay, because I'm tripping out. Like mine is going off behind
All
me.
right.
But it's,
And then my fun packs came in from Amazon. So this is my first of all, it comes with this Psylocke.
That's
Oh,
dope.
that's actually
bruh.
I like this Psylocke a lot. It's the X-Force Psylocke.
Yeah, that's dope. As
She's
hell,
quite
man.
clean. She comes with of course the sword and the thing, but she also comes with the psionic butterfly effect thing that goes on her head. I love that. Yeah, but I didn't want to put it on her because it keeps falling off. The next that came also in that pack,
Prove it.
it comes
Prove
with
it.
Phantom X.
Is it fucking glow in the dark?
Yeah, he's pretty
Is it
bright.
lighting or does it glow?
What is happening?
He's pretty hip. He's what the young kids like. And then
John,
of
I want some
course,
nuggies too, man. With sweet and sour sauce.
yeah,
I really
sweet chicky nuggies. And then finally,
I hear they have
I
the Szechuan sauce back.
If you drive out
Weird
to
stretch,
Ohio, my McDonald's has the Szechuan sauce.
Oh,
Just
Jelani,
all you
we
gotta
gotta-
do is just come out here.
Everybody,
Nice.
we got to put this on hold just for a moment.
nice.
That's
That
how
was
you
very
liven
nice.
things up. Thank you so much, Mikey, for the super chat. He says that Punisher is even more dope than the crotch gun Punisher figure.
It is. It
So
is.
I
It
love
is.
that crotch gun Punisher figure. I don't have one. I need to get one.
Yeah, it's fabled and a fortune, isn't it? It's a fortune to get. But it's okay. My final one. I got one last one.
Thank you, Mikey, by the way. Thank
Thank
you
you,
so much.
Mikey, so much, dude. Yeah, I love that Punisher too, bro. Last but not
Station.
least, I got Neem. Really? I got Nimrod, man.
Oh,
it comes
dope.
with a 3-pack. It comes with a
Dude.
3-pack.
How do you get these black light ones?
I don't know. Very carefully. Very carefully.
But all this stuff looks like day glow, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. I don't know. It's the way my camera is. But
Yeah, it's like a goddamn fucking 90s rave over at Jelani's apartment.
dudes.
Dude,
Yeah.
dude, 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 dude.
Don't-
Dude.
That's all I
Dude. That's it.
That's it.
Very
That's all I
nice,
got.
very nice, very nice. Very nice.
It's the Amazon 3-pack.
All right, cut it. Stop.
Oh god,
No.
oh god. Don't demonetize this YouTube.
Demonetize us?
Illuminatus. You finally got one. Yay.
Show and tell I'm up.
Don't cut yourself, bro. Be careful.
Yeah. Doesn't that call like a gigantic dragon Zord?
He's having performance issues.
No, I don't. Here we go.
Nice.
I'm confused. Is it a
I
flute or a
want to
soul?
make a whole track with just that, Robbie.
We're gonna get demonetized because of that.
You
I wanna
can't.
I want to show this off because this came from my good buddy John. Isn't that
Aw.
dope? Isn't that
That's
dope?
the man.
Oh yeah, you took that from the.
Is he mounting that
Yeah.
parademon?
I know you did.
Yeah, that's from the Justice League book, right? It's the
The
Jim
new
Lee.
Yeah.
one.
Yeah,
He tried to charge me $20 for the Green Lantern.
Yeah,
Very
John
sexual.
donated this and the stuff for the PCP mystery boxes at the expo, and he was like, "One of them you're gonna want to keep," and there's always something I want to keep.
Oh, yeah?
I do also got another pop I want to show off. This is one I got a few years ago, but there's my normal Pinhead pop, but this is the Hot Topic exclusive glow in the dark one.
Nice.
You lucky son of a bitch.
Open it up.
Very nice.
Open it.
Prove-
I've never opened it.
Well, then open it up. Prove it.
You can open it. You can open them without anyone telling.
Yeah.
That one says Hellraiser 3.
Robbie
What is
still working at Hot Topic?
on the box?
I think so. I think he does. But yeah, there it is right there. So the other one is,
Turn out the lights. Prove it.
well, you wouldn't be able to capture it because I don't think it glows a lot. I've seen it glow,
They gotta charge.
Because you're a poser and it doesn't actually glow.
but there they go. If you
Yeah.
want to see the difference.
You got to put it down your pants for a while to get it to work.
The
Yeah.
regular one looks better.
I think so, but it doesn't glow in the dark.
Yeah, true.
This one does, and you can tell that it's a different material. It glows, but some of those pops, they glow faintly. This is one of those ones that glow faintly.
What you gotta do is like charge it up a little bit, like put the light on it.
No shit, Dylan.
Turn the light
Why
on.
is he doing the Black Panther pose?
Well, excuse me.
Wakanda forever. Well, excuse you, Dylan. I'm sorry. This is my time to shine.
Charge. I'll remember that next time it's my turn and you're gossip.
Bruh.
Settling on Fight Island.
I'm just messing with you, man.
Yeah, I know. I'm just
Prove
saying. Still.
We're going to get demonetized.
You're gonna have to stop that right now, bro. Like
Yeah,
literally,
stop
you have
playing
to
that.
stop that.
Stop playing that.
Don't you play too much, Craig. Here's a recent Blu-ray pickup. Randomly a few days ago, I was like, why did $10 go missing out of my account from Amazon? I forgot I had pre-ordered this Blu-ray.
Oh, yeah, I
cool.
saw
Nice.
that going for $10.
Why is that not in this? No, because
Wes Craven classic.
Yeah.
Since it's Horrorfest, I also want to show off one of my Dracula books. This one is illustrated by Ben Templesmith.
That is awesome,
Real,
dude.
that's awesome.
Prove it. Read the first chapter.
Let me
Well,
see.
I'll show you some of the first images, maybe.
Please, I want to see what Templesmith does. He's phenomenal.
Wow, that's good art.
Is it glow in the dark?
No,
Right
it'd
after
be really badass.
Is it
It'd be really
Hollywood?
badass if it glows.
How much was it?
It's $16.99.
Oh, that's not bad.
But for you, it's 30.
Yeah.
This came out a few years ago. I don't know. I doubt it's in print right now.
Oh, really?
Oh, bro, you remember the Demeter, the captain tied to the wheel?
Yeah,
Oh man, look
that's
at that.
nice.
Believe it or not, young man, no.
Let me go a little bit further in the story. There's one of the
Spoilers.
The
Right,
diary. That's
Mina.
Mina Muddy.
Mina or Lucy dying, probably.
That's Lucy. That's Lucy.
Bruh. Look
That
at that.
that looks like Mina.
And look at this back.
That does look good. Jeez, that looks good.
Yeah, that's super cool. And one final thing, just to show this off. I got that in.
Finally.
That's a mic
Nice.
not long ago.
We need
Alpha.
5 teenagers with attitude.
Alpha.
Ay, ay, ay.
Alma,
Ay, ay,
Alma. That's
Ay,
what I
ay,
wrote. That's what I
love
wrote.
Ay, ay, freaking yay.
Aye, freaking aye. And that brings us to the end of Back Chat, the end of the show tonight. Thank you, everybody out there, for joining us tonight. Thank you, my panel of illustrious guests. Sure. Let's just call it that. Anyway, I really appreciate everybody being here. Jelani, final thoughts?
I don't know. Love each other. Be cool. 2020's been trash, but these have been like the best highlight of them all. So yeah, I'm glad to hang out with you, bros. You are my homes. Let's keep watching horror movies and movies in general and talk about stuff, because this really brightens my weeks, man. So thanks a lot, guys, for watching us too. I really appreciate it.
Hell yeah. Hammer Time holds you. Final thoughts.
I got nothing. I was not prepared.
Steal my shine, dude.
Yeah, 2020 does suck, man, but it's going to get better. I'm telling you, it can only get better from here. I'm excited for Horrorfest, and that's a good start for the whole. I don't know, man. That's something to look forward to, I guess. So,
Jay
Okay.
Strick, final thoughts. I guess.
whatever.
What do I know?
Not much, apparently.
God damn.
Damn, Savage Ass Brooks in the dark. What's
You
up?
can sneak it behind you. You wouldn't see shit in the dark, Brooks.
It's my turn to show my toys. Is it me?
Jay
Yeah.
Strick.
Yes.
Oh, well, dude, I thought we were like,
Dang it! Hurry up,
I
man.
thought we were still bidding. All right, I got 2 things.
I thought we were
First
still
thing.
fitting.
I have a 5-year plan for the Conch and Cabin in the Woods. So Marvel, DC, call me.
Second thing is St. Davis High School football rules.
I like it. I like it. Brooks, final thoughts.
Mummy.
Dylan, final thoughts.
Don't play me like no puppet.
Okay.
Prove
Sounds
it.
fair.
Prove it.
All right. I'll say then join us tomorrow night. Me and Dylan will be live on his channel with, I'm sure, a few other people, maybe some people here. J-Strick, I think you said you was down.
Yeah, I'm done.
J-Strick was like, oh, there's a basketball game on. I found out my TNT app works on my tablet. Anyway.
Hey, why don't you close the show, buddy?
Yeah, I should. Join us tomorrow night live on Dylan's Comics. You can find them on the featured channels page at the homepage here. Pop
My
Culture
TNT app.
I just wanted to plug the Dylan show tomorrow night. Dylan's stream. Jesus, forgive me. I am wearing my Us t-shirt for Dylan because he was talking mad shit about that movie. And so fuck all that.
How was their first season, Strickland?
What movie?
Showing our shirts now.
Yeah. Well, what's up, man? Hey, Chad, who's got the best t-shirt?
Oh my god, Us is the best movie ever, dude.
The Shining is a horrible movie. It wasn't like the book at all.
Anyway,
Read the book and then tell me what you think.
my final
It'll change your
thought.
life.
You can't read.
2020 may suck. 2020 may suck. No tears. It's a waste of good suffering. Station!